Dun, 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 dun,
Dun, dun, dun. Or if you want to go with the,
You do this second, like dun, 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 and then
dun,
explosion.
dun,
Do
dun,
it.
dun, 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 dun. I'm
Zop.
sorry. We're gonna say
or you want to do the
Zop,
what's
zop.
I'm trying to remember the Junkie XL Batman theme. Does
don't
anyone
know.
remember that?
Which
No.
one?
From Batman vs Superman.
no.
No.
Whoa. Oh wait, no, I remember. Whoa,
I re-
whoa, 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 whoa.
I remember the Batman Beyond theme song more than that one.
Yeah.
I can't do the Nolan one.
But
What's the
then, oh
Nolan
my
one?
god, the theme song for this one, dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun, dun, dun,
excellent.
dun. So good. That
excellent.
big foreboding power, something that's moving
Yeah,
towards
Imperial
you.
March.
All right,
Yeah.
hello everybody to another episode of Half a Clue Movie Review. On today's episode,
Welcome.
we are covering The Batman, Matt Reeves The Batman, not Batman, 1989, The Batman with THE
The Dark
space
Knight.
Batman, The Batman. I don't know if you don't know, it's called The Batman.
Wait, are we doing the animated series? The
No,
Batman?
it's called The Batman.
It's
Yeah.
Matt Reeves,
Yeah.
the Batman.
Yes, oh, you're right. Matt Reeves, The Batman. Okay. My name is Philip. I'm your host today, and I'm here joined by...
Hi, Ron. Good to be here.
BLAKE. Blake.
I'm trying to spell that out. I'm Matt Reeves, the Jeremy.
This is not Matt
Oh, yeah,
Reeves.
special guest Jeremy today. It's his
Oh,
first
hi.
episode.
Maybe
What's
the
up,
last.
Jeremy. I hope not. What's it called? Jeremy.
We'll see.
Yeah, if we do a Drive My Car review, I definitely want you on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Now available on HBO Max.
Yes.
Go watch it.
Jeremy, do you want to introduce yourself to our audience,
Oh,
our
what's there?
returning audience?
I don't even know what established lore you guys have. I'm friends with Ron.
Yes.
Yeah.
We work together on stuff,
I'm-
film sets and everything. So yeah, there you go.
Like it's just maybe a reach to say I work in the film industry, but
yeah.
I work on films.
Yeah. Films, commercials, music videos, whatever.
If you need light applied to something, I'm there.
That's
There you
Jeremy
go.
for you. That's Jeremy, buddy. Everybody, let's
Yeah.
give a hands of applause for
Okay.
Jeremy.
That's 1, 2,
Jeremy.
1, 2, 3.
Sounded like you said
Hands of applause.
Jeremy. Like he has a lot
You
of
can do that.
germs.
People get lazy and drop the second E. That's fine. So,
Jeremy.
All
yeah.
right.
At that same speed.
What's it called? Okay, so this what's it called? Matt Reeves has released a new Batman film just recently in theaters. Has
Wait, really?
torn up the box office. Number one, $120 million, third best opening for I think the DCEU for box office. It's the best opening. It's the second film since the pandemic to do over 100 million at the box office.
Wowzers.
Good for them.
What
Is
was
that
the
the-
first one?
Is that the actual acronym? DCEU?
Yeah,
Yes.
DC,
DC Extended Universe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's it called?
What was the first movie to break?
Spider-Man?
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah. The only
Sam Raimi's the Spider-Man.
So, what's it called? And Matt Reeves, the Batman film, follows a young, not an origin story, but a young year two Batman who's not fully formed yet. He's still learning the ropes on how to become Batman. Doesn't care about being Bruce Wayne
No.
at all, as we could talk about.
Jumping the gun, but that's what I love, that he's discovering what it means to
Yeah.
be the Batman.
Yeah. And what's it called? And
2 years of darkness.
And what's it? There's a series of string of murders that occur in Gotham City, and all taken credit by the Riddler, who seems to be uncovering another central mystery that is tied
Yeah.
to the GCPD, the DA, the justice system, and etc. And Batman is somehow the central of it.
Something is rotten.
Two side plots that feed into the main plot. Amazing.
I know, like any classic detective fiction. And well, let's first go into it. What is everyone's familiarity with Batman? Starting with Ron.
How do you say it? Batman?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Batman.
Batman.
There's a hyphen in there.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's like Spider-Man where there's a little hyphen
Yeah.
for no
Yeah.
reason. No, I mean, who doesn't know and love Batman? I mean, probably
A lot
next
of
to
people
Spider-Man,
say.
probably my favorite superhero ever.
You like Spider-Man more than Batman?
Dude, honestly, it's hard to say because really, like Spider-Man, they both just hit me at like such a early age. It was like my 3 favorite comic books, or characters, or whatever is like Spider-Man, Batman, and the X-Men. X-Men are my favorite team. Spider-Man is like my definitely favorite. Like I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is, Batman is definitely one of my favorites. He's the first comic book I bought. I bought Court of Owls. Actually, that was the first one I ever got.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, and I've been a huge fan ever since. So yeah, I've seen a shitload of stuff. I don't know. I don't even want to list out all the stuff that I've seen because it's Batman. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's me.
all this stuff. What about you, Blake?
This was my introduction to Batman.
That's not surprising. People are not trying to like.
No,
Blake
I'm
doesn't
just-
like anime. Blake doesn't like good films. Blake doesn't like what's it called? If it's not directed by anybody with the initials NWR, Nicholas Winding Refn.
No, I'm just fucking around. Obviously, I know Batman. I've seen pretty much all the movies, maybe missed a couple. And I really liked the I can't speak the animated show, but I'm not talking about the animated show you're thinking about. I'm thinking of like the shittier 2000s one. Where
You're talking about
It's The Batman.
Yeah, it's the Batman.
Batman.
It's like the
Batman.
one where like Joker's
They're
ripped
more
for some
angular.
reason.
Like I said, they're more angular looking.
Yeah,
That's the one that I don't know. That's the one that was on TV when I was a kid. So
honestly,
watched
I
it
feel
a
like
lot.
that one got too much hate because the previous Batman animated
Was so
series,
good.
it was so fucking iconic and fantastic. That one is also good too. It's just its own take, but it's
and
pretty
Batman Beyond, of course. Batman Beyond.
good. Oh
fucking
fuck yeah,
slaps.
Batman Beyond. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Direct
I'm
sequel to
pretty
Batman, the
familiar
animated
with the
series.
Batman.
Yeah. What about you, Jeremy?
I think I'm pretty much familiar with like every interpretation of Batman at this point. Like I remember watching the Burton ones as a kid. I played the Sega Genesis video game adaptation.
Oh, that was excellent. That is excellent. I just played that this weekend at my friend Uriel's
yeah,
house.
like bombs. You know how you just throw explosive flasks all the time. Yeah, the Burton ones, the Schumacher ones. I think as a kid they were fun to look at. Looking back,
Yeah.
like, and then people try to make me be ashamed of that.
Dude, I used to have a life-sized cardboard cutout of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze in my room for
Yeah, the
many
Ice
years.
Age.
Yeah, exactly. My dad just like showed up one day. He was like, "I got this." I didn't ask questions. I don't know where it came from, but he was like, "I got this. Do you want it?" I was like, "Yeah, that's awesome." So yeah, at the time, that was like my favorite thing ever. I was like, "Yeah, man, this is so cool."
I saw those ones when I was so young that I basically don't remember anything other than kind of liking the colors on the screen. as
It's
a
a
kid.
colorful.
No, it's a colorful
movie.
film.
That's like, but I'm telling you, I saw that when I was so little that that's all I remember was like being like a dumb little kid and being like,
Yeah,
like
I
if it's
mean,
like it's essentially what's it called? Like I said, it's
and
as a
NWR is Batman.
as a Batman film, it's terrible. But as like as a kids film, like
it's the
like Inspector
campiest
Gadget or
one.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
It is the campiest
Yeah.
one next to the Adam West ones, which
Yeah.
if you ask
Yeah.
Schumacher, like that's kind of what he was going for. He like
He was. I'll give
apparently.
him that. No, that's actually was like I saw
say
the
something
behind the
nice
scenes.
about the Schumacher Batmans. That's it. That's what it's
I saw the behind the scenes where he had a megaphone on the scene of Batman. Before every take, he would say, "Remember, this is a film for film for kids. This is a film to sell toys." And that's how she said. And then that they made the film.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. There's every aspect of that film is just dripping
Yeah,
with
back
marketing.
card.
Yeah, there's like, look, here's the car. Oh no, actually, we're gonna have a plane and a motorcycle. Also, there's like 3 different bat suits. It's ridiculous.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like and Schumacher ones, I've seen those, and then basically I was a grown up like for like Nolan's onward. Although yeah, I would say the animated series Batman, like the '90s one, is like the one in my head as the main Batman.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy. This
Same
is Kevin
thing.
Conroy erasure every time we're just talking about movies.
While we're talking about just Batman, before we get into it, I will say that The Dark Knight Rises was like the biggest like opening night I'd been to at the time. I went to Harkins and
I
like
saw that in IMAX. You know,
literally
Yeah.
the line wrapped over the entire parking lot's like theater and like all the other buildings. And I remember being like, holy shit. I don't know, just a fun
No,
story.
it was epic.
It
when
was really big.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight trilogy.
I don't think
we
I
forget.
saw a premiere as big of that until like Force Awakens.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
for
that's
real.
fair.
Like nothing was like as big as like Batman since like funny enough like probably the prequels. Like the prequels and then probably Batman and then now the Force Awakens and their new trilogies and everything. It was a huge thing just in film, just in general.
I think it was really Batman. I mean, there's the Harry Potter films that really like helped start off the midnight showings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then Batman: The Dark Knight was the one that really broke the records. That was the Avengers Endgame at the time, the second one when it came out.
Yeah.
Because let's not forget, like the first Batman made only like $380 million. It wasn't that. Like, I mean, in comparison to how like Batman films make now, and
Yeah.
also it wasn't that much of an increase from Batman Forever, right?
Yeah.
If you adjust it for inflation, it's like kind of around the same
Yeah.
too.
but
So-
like it's not bad for like a new Batman.
Yeah, it's not.
Considering after Schumacher,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people
Yeah.
just didn't want to revisit him for a while.
Yeah, that's why like they gave Christopher Nolan like a benefit of doubt. Like we understand you had to deal with two negative receptions and then had to make yours,
Yeah.
but still it was like no guarantee they were gonna make a Batman film.
Yeah, and to that point too, what Nolan's like biggest film was like The Prestige, which was
No,
like
no. Prestige
Prestige
was
came
made.
after.
It came
Oh, it
after.
came after. Oh,
it was
then
Batman. He always
Memento.
does like
Memento?
other film. Yeah, it was
What?
Memento.
So you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to pronounce it as The Prestige.
Oh wait, no, not even Memento. It was technically his most box office like awarded film was Insomnia.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
you're right.
yeah. So I
Insomnia.
think for the broader audience to be like, guys, this is the guy who made Memento and Insomnia.
Yeah, they're just
You
like-
gotta go
We're
watch
going to
it.
make him do an
I mean,
action
cinephiles
movie.
would care.
Exactly,
and
but
then,
like
Christian Bale was American Psycho and Newsies at this point.
yeah, it also hadn't really had that breakout yet. Obviously,
Well, I
until
mean, I
Pattinson.
guess Newsies. Oh, I guess we haven't called. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
yeah, it's like for again broader audience,
audience
speaking. You know,
yeah. So it's so like the fact is like I don't they took an even bigger gamble and they increased the budget from the first one like 150 to like 185 million for Dark Knight, and they were like we'll probably make a couple $100 million extra. I think in Batman Begins like they broke even and they made some profit. They really didn't, but it was the home media where they made most of their money. But Dark Knight. So the fact is that they pretty much made the entire run of Batman Begins within 3 days. Like worldwide, they were just like, oh, what's happening? They took off their pants and underwear. They celebrated. They all went. I was like, whoa!
I think I like the start of the Prestige Batmans.
Yeah. That's pretty much. And they're like,
premium
okay.
Batmans.
And now they're like, oh, Batman is like a viable franchise.
Yeah.
You know, we could go toe to toe with Spider-Man now. Yeah.
yay.
And yeah, that's what happened for me. For Batman. Yeah, I watched it since I was a kid. My first comic book that I ever read, I think, was the Year One Batman. What's it called?
Nice.
That was like I took it off my Uncle Bernie. And if you guys see, he's a part of our lore, Uncle Bernie.
Yeah.
Old boy stuff. He's also the guy who introduced me to comics. So I saw Year One and I was like, wow, this is so fucked up. I love it.
Surprised he didn't show you like Watchmen.
I was like, no, that was my second comic. That's why I was very excited.
He's like,
start
here.
with the deconstruction.
Yeah, here's Killing Joke. Enjoy.
I'll get into Killing. Killing Joke. That's the whole thing. I don't want to destroy a fan base. Yeah, and then watch the animated series and stuff like that, and then I've watched Batman Begins first before '89. So I watched Batman Begins.
Really?
Yeah. No, not Batman. I mean, Batman Returns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watched that one before '89, and I never liked '89 that much as a kid. I've rewatched it recently, and I've grown a newfound appreciation.
Taste.
I still have my flaws as a Batman fan, but I do enjoy it.
They
I
definitely
do enjoy it
don't
quite a bit.
like Batman movies like that anymore.
No. Let's go. And obviously the Schumacher ones. I've always hated those ones. I just never liked
There's
them.
a lot of reasons to not like them, but again, it's also the most openly
just
embraced
very
campy
silly.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean they're fun, like drunk.
Schumacher does not
Molly.
apologize for those.
No. I mean he can't apologize now.
Yeah.
George Clooney apologized.
Oh yeah, I know. He says sorry for it. He'll never what's it called?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, that was my bad, dude.
Yeah.
Or not even just his bad. He was just like, nah, that was just I wasn't really
He
trying.
did his job. He talked like George Clooney.
Yeah, he just didn't, it's just not even his fault. I don't blame George at all. Alicia Silverstone was in that one too. I forgot. Clueless Girl. Yeah.
She was Batgirl for some reason, who in this interpretation was Alfred's granddaughter for whatever reason. Instead of being like Gordon's, because I think they just forgot about the
They forgot
character
to
of
include Gordon.
Yeah.
Which is what I loved about the Dark Knight trilogy is they really brought Gordon back into the spotlight.
because he wasn't that big even in the Burton ones.
No.
No.
He was around, but like not really.
Yeah, like all those were preoccupied with like the caricatures of the villains.
Yeah, and then eventually we came into like I don't know, the Snyderverse didn't really have Gordon either until like Justice League. He has like a
J.K.
scene.
Simmons, yeah.
Good for him. But what I love about this film, this new The Batman.
Best on-screen Gordon.
Yeah.
In my opinion, at
Oh, yeah.
least.
He's,
honestly.
what's it called? Bernard from Westworld, Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah,
The
That's
man
his
who
name is
voices the
Arnold.
Watcher himself.
His name is Arnold.
What's it called? Is it Arnold or Bernard or are they both?
Spoilers for Westworld.
Yeah.
It's too
You
late.
guys haven't seen it. What I mean, it's your fault.
Just, if you haven't seen it, just forget I said that.
This
Sorry.
This means nothing to me.
Have you seen Westworld?
I know that's why the reference like this means nothing to me.
Oh, okay.
I don't see anything or
I don't see
whatever.
anything.
Oh yeah. I'm not even gonna talk.
Jeffrey
about Westworld.
can't keep his glasses on his nose the right way. Right.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
can I give a quick connection to Westworld that's not Jeffrey Wright?
What?
What?
Westworld, which is connected to that dumb Hugh Jackman movie we watched earlier or last year. What was that called?
Reminiscence.
You seeing the connection?
They're both bad.
No. Well,
One
it's a
with-
spoiler for The Batman.
Yes, yeah.
You really don't get the connection I'm going for? something about a city.
Yes, I know. I got it. I
Okay.
just didn't want to. I don't want to spoil another film. Yeah.
Just wanted to make that
We're-
crystal
we're,
clear.
We're spoiling like so much media. Well, then again, if you're avid viewers or whatever, you have listened to a Reminiscence review.
Yeah, Soylent Green is people.
Oh my god. Okay, let's enough spoilers. Enough spoilers. The priest dies in The Exorcist.
Well, which one?
Okay.
Also spoilers.
I'm just
Dude,
kidding.
I'm still getting around to that.
Okay, what's
That's
it called?
a joke.
Yeah, it's such a
All right.
long movie.
What is everyone's brief opinion on this before we fully spoil the film? By the way, everyone, we will spoil the fuck out of this film. How's it go? Your last chance and warning to watch a 3-hour movie. What's it called? It's fine. It's not that
Yeah,
bad.
hit pause, go to the theater,
Watch it, come in.
watch it, and come
What if
back.
they're watching it 4 in the
Run,
morning?
don't walk.
My brief opinion is I fucking loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It was refreshing, and in a world where we've had so many different interpretations of the Batman, that is really hard to do and hard to find. And yeah, so yes, that's all I'm gonna say for now.
Lake.
I love Robert Pattinson, and when they announced he was going to be Batman, my first instinct was, "Holy fucking shit, I don't care," because I was
The
so
goddamn Batman.
Batman fatigued. Then the trailer came out, and I was like, "Okay," and then it came out. Yeah, I really liked it, and I was very cautious because I'm so fucking sick of Batman, but it was pretty good.
You can't escape. Most popular. It's good, y'all. It's good.
How's that for brief? No.
Yeah, that's in a word,
It's like the
it's
Joe
good.
Pesci of Oscar speeches when they ask.
in a lot of ways, I was already kind of on board with, like, as soon as the title card hit, like the way it feels like tiny that takes up the top eighth of the frame, and then big letters Batman. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
They
okay.
instantly got you by the balls. I see.
Yeah, the score, like, because you hear the score before you see anything,
Yeah. It's quite a bit.
and it sounded good.
For me, yeah, I also really love this film. I was always for me it was Matt Reeves that really like how me got on board with
Yeah,
this.
and
I
I
was
love
just-
his work in The Pallbearer.
Yeah. Oh my god. You want to tell everybody your
I
experience
really
with-
don't remember anything about The Pallbearer beyond, like, what I remembered from watching Saturday KTLA Channel 5 Saturday matinees.
With commercials.
With
the best way to
commercials.
watch. Yeah.
He attended his friend's funeral, I guess.
I forgot he also wrote like some Mark Wahlberg crime film right before that when he was
Max
starting
Payne?
out. No, when he was starting out.
Extended cut.
No, yeah, no. I love Matt Reeves from Cloverfield. I didn't really like Let Me In that much, to be honest. But the
I
Planet of
flipped
the,
that around. I didn't like Cloverfield at all. I love Let Me In.
and then by the time he did Dawn of Planet of the Apes, I was like, who is this guy? I was like, this is awesome. I was like, this guy who did Cloverfield, I'm in. And then he did War of the Planet of the Apes, which I also loved. I'm a big Planet of the Apes fan in general. I've seen all of them. I'm
Excited
Available
for
on
the fourth
HBO
one.
Max.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so yeah, especially when I heard Matt Reeves was attached to it, I was like, all right, dude, like this could be really good. So let's see where it goes.
Yeah, I think it was like Matt Reeves. It's just like, and we'll get more into this filmography later. But one thing with Matt Reeves was always interesting is that, like, for me with Cloverfield, like I didn't like it, but it was an interesting start. Like it was just a cool take on Godzilla.
Yeah.
Right? Found footage style. And Let Me In. I liked it. Actually, no, never mind. No, I hated it. But I
Did
appreciate
you
it.
actually like Let the Right One In?
Yes, I love Let the Right One In.
It's the same beats.
But then
Is it because just one did it first?
what's it called? No, it's because like what's it called. Without getting too much into it, and one day I want to have like a Let the Right One In, Let Me In. It's just like some of the shots, like particularly the one I guess super anal about certain things that they change, or like, just like the shooting style, right? Like the one, the hospital scene where like
Yeah, there's a dynamism
yeah
in this one that's like the first like Let the Right One In was good because it did a lot on like an indie scale.
yeah.
Then we
but-
just made a much more expensive version of that.
right, but somehow it was more expensive. But I felt like it was less creative with the shots. But then again, it was only a second film, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like not getting into it.
I mean-
He's got a lot better with like his shot selection and stuff with his subsequent. So okay, maybe hate's a strong word. I'm being too harsh, but I as a guy who loved Let the Right One In, I was like, let me in. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I was a weird kid
We're,
who
like
watched
we're,
it.
we're always kind of skeptical to remakes done within a decade of
Yeah.
the original.
But it is, but in a weird way, it is. In a weird way, it got me more excited for his next film because I'm like, at least it's not a dog shit remake. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't, even though I didn't like it, but it's okay. But in the Dawn of the Planet and War of the Planet, I went goo goo gaga, ripped my shirt off, and I was like, whoa! And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, Matt Reeves.
Mm-hmm. It was good action, I'd say.
Yeah, it was.
Considering a lot of those actors weren't really there.
Let's go. All right. So what did everyone think of Robert Pattinson's portrayal as Bruce Wayne and Batman?
I thought he was great.
He can act. Turns out.
Yeah, no, I think it
Turns
was-
out.
Turns out.
Turns out. How dare you?
My favorite
Have you
thing
seen
about
Good Time?
yeah, my favorite thing about like Pattinson's rise is that people still like only acknowledge him from Twilight. Like he's years away from that, but people
Yeah.
still go, "Oh,
Dare
the
I
Twilight
say
guy."
one of the best working male actors right
Yeah.
now?
Dude, I've heard a lot of people that were turned off of Robert Pattinson being Bruce Wayne, Batman, whatever, just because they're like, Twilight guy? No thanks. And it's like, oh, come on, dude. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of indie work. He's really built up his cred.
Like, you really hated him when he was like 19.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was such a huge Twilight hater growing up that I didn't like Robert
Instinctively,
Pattinson.
it's the masculine urge to hate Twilight.
Yeah. But then, like, as I've seen his other works and stuff, I was like, oh no, he's actually like a good actor.
Turns out he's good and
Yeah,
British.
I fucking love Robert Pattinson. And I thought he really, I mean, his portrayal of Bruce Wayne is a little not existent in this movie, but that's fine. That's part of the movie.
Well,
but-
like as Bruce Wayne, he makes the decision to not be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I liked his like rawness as Batman, where he's just like this angry fucking psychopath, basically.
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job.
Yeah. What are you gonna say?
I think you go first. Yeah.
No, I love that he is like very raw. He's very just like he's right out the gate, just Batman who's been just kind of more like rampaging throughout Gotham than really like, being a Cape Crusader. He's just a guy who's just basically venting.
Beats the fucking shit out of people.
Exactly. He's just venting his emotional problems on like, guys who are robbing liquor stores and stuff, just like beating the crap out of people. And he's just like doesn't really understand to like, you have to be a symbol and whatever. He's trying to like be a good person, give people hope, not just fear. And that's great.
Also,
And-
he's super edgy. I am
Yeah.
the shadows.
yeah, he's very edgy, which I understand why it kind of turned people off a bit because he is the most. He's
He's the very most emo Batman,
he's emo sad boy Batman and sad boy Bruce Wayne,
which was made for me.
Yeah,
And if you guys actually like, because I know people like, actually, I'll let Jeremy go before I
We
go on
had-
a mini rant.
like we had roughly 40 years of like overly charismatic Batmans,
yeah.
and when you do that, you kind of miss the point of like that character from the comics. So
Yeah.
like Pattinson seemed like he did his homework actually from like checking on the source material instead of just being suave.
Yeah, it's like I
Yeah.
think most people just
You never see him in a tuxedo.
yeah, which I kind of love because it's like
Yes.
everyone's so obsessed with like, oh yes, they love the fantasy of being Bruce Wayne, where you're this like suave billionaire who gets chicks and whatever during the day, and it gets to be Batman
Yeah,
at
the
night.
duality of man.
The truth is, you shouldn't want to be Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is a fucking tragic character. He hates himself. He's very like depressed.
A lot of people in
and
that
angry.
city hate Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and it's like this. I feel like he definitely brought that like more depth to him. I'm sorry, you're gonna say Philip. Go
Oh
on
no,
your
no,
rant.
I completely agree. I think like for people who, I don't want to say a certain famous YouTuber. You know what I mean?
I don't-
we don't have to go that far.
I don't want to say his name. Let's just say, or
Oh
not
my
even just
God.
him, but just a lot of people.
A
Who
lot
are,
of people.
Yeah, a lot of people. And if you are that famous YouTuber and can figure out who you are and
my
listening to our podcast,
I
I
don't-
apologize. I would actually want to meet.
He's not listening to
What's
us.
it
I don't,
called?
Yeah, he's
I don't
really
know
not.
the use.
What's it called? I just want to have a preface for future proofing our
Yeah, we have
podcast
to preface this.
episode.
I don't
What's it
know
called?
what young people do.
But then it's no, for people who are complaining about Robert Pattinson, and is the fact that his Bruce Wayne is not a charismatic, suave playboy billionaire, modeled after like Young Money or stuff like that.
Yeah.
You guys are wrong. I mean, in the comics, I mean that's because these films have portrayed Batman, who by the way is fully formed Michael Keaton Batman.
Yeah.
and also
You're getting a lot of middle-aged Batmans. And,
yeah,
you know,
exactly. So I'm just
Silver
like,
Foxes.
this is young. You gotta put that in context. And two, if we a real life person like was dressed up as a bat beating up criminals and a way to avenge the deaths of their parents who he shot like their brains were blown out in front of him,
They
you'd
never
be
actually
probably
show
really
that.
fucked up. You know what I mean?
They never actually show him. They never showed the alley.
No,
But
they never
thank
showed that,
God.
which I'm thank God. Yeah,
Thank God,
no
dude.
pearls, no guns.
We
No
we've heard-
popcorn.
You don't like the hilarious opening scene to Batman v Superman?
Yeah, oh, yeah, what's it called?
Okay,
It's actually
okay.
okay. Well, you know what?
I think it's
don't wanna get-
hilarious.
So,
We talked
okay.
about that in previous review.
I
I
know.
don't want to touch on
I
it
know,
too much.
Yeah.
The writers of this movie heard all your jokes about what movie they could have been watching.
Yeah.
So they just never mentioned that they actually came out of a theater.
Yeah. It's just
They were also totally watching Shrek on the night.
yeah.
At this day and age, he could have definitely
he could
been
have
walking
watching
out of,
Shrek.
Yeah, or he could have actually been walking out of Antonio Banderas's
Zorro.
Matt
film.
Zorro.
Yeah.
It's come full circle, people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's it called? No, but I get really frustrated and annoyed. I'm like, one, you guys don't understand the point of the character. Two, you're wrong. So
okay.
I'm sorry, you're just wrong. Shut the fuck up before I slap my fucking. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm gonna censor myself. I'm gonna censor myself a little
You're not
bit.
Batman.
Yeah. What's it called?
I'm just gonna keep saying
I was
beep
Matt
every time
Gordon.
I
Never
feel
went. G.
swear going
Willikers
on.
Batman.
So his more psychologically honest portrayal of Bruce Wayne and Batman just fits for that film. So for them to say it's a bad portrayal of Bruce Wayne and Batman, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Go fucking sleep in a corner and tell how fucking terrible you are.
All opinions are valid, okay?
I mean,
Okay.
it falls in line with like
there's no wrong opinions, but there's bad opinions. And if you said that's a bad opinion.
That being said, so one thing I do like Dark Knight Rises about, and let me just get this out
You
there.
love the pro cop.
Dark Knight Rises is, I think that Dark Knight Rises is a hilarious movie overall. But the one thing I do like about that movie is it's so unapologetically kind of like a Bruce Wayne movie. I like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just wanna
Yeah,
get that
that's
out.
fair. I think it is like one thing we have to mention right out of the gate is like this is very much a Batman
Yes.
film. It is not really about it, but in the sense it is still about
It
Bruce
is about
Wayne.
Bruce Wayne,
But how he uses the Batman character to like just
I mean, yeah,
deal with this
this is
childhood
really
traumatic
like
grief.
this
Yeah.
is like the thesis of my opinion of this one. It's like Nolan made a Batman that spent a lot of his time agonizing about being Batman.
yeah.
Like Matt Reeves the Batman, like he does his fucking job.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this Batman, if anything, Bruce Wayne in this film is Bruce Wayne who's like, he's an addict, but his addiction is Batman. He's addicted to being Batman. The
Yeah.
point where Batman's in almost every like frame or almost every scene in the film, some way.
Yeah. And I'm sure we're gonna get to the aesthetics at one point, but I love that like 95% of this movie takes place at night.
Oh
Yes,
That's
yes,
beautiful.
yes.
It's almost daybreak.
That speaking of Dark Knight Rises, that movie is so fucking flat looking most of the time because like Batman or Bane are like fighting in like
Fighting in broad daylight on
I
Yeah,
fucking
on
hate
stone
how Dark
steps.
Knight Rises looks so
No,
much.
to be honest, a lot like a lot of the Batman trilogy. Oh, and we talk about the action
Dark
scenes.
Knight trilogy.
Yeah, a lot of the Dark Knight
Dark
trilogy.
Knight trilogy. Well, actually, when you think about it,
Batman Begins.
no, the only trilogy of Batman films from the same actor is the Dark Knight with
Dark
Christian
Knight.
Bale.
Yeah.
So if I see Batman trilogy, it should be obvious. You guys should be obviously know. It's
Oh
from
my
Christian
god,
Bale.
whatever.
Okay,
Yeah,
you dumb
the
fucks.
Schumacher to Mocker.
Yeah, that's what it's called. It's always duologies. What's up? But I when we get into action scenes, I'll talk about like how the action scenes in those films were not.
I mean,
necessarily
I'll
well
jump the
filmed.
gun a bit. Matt Reeves is better doing action than Nolan is.
Oh yeah, no, I think Nolan is.
That's my shots fired.
Yeah, Nolan and his earlier career very bad.
Like
especially
he's not.
Batman
He wasn't
Begins.
known for doing action movies. Then we gave him like the most expensive action movie of that year to do.
But they were crazy.
Yeah.
150. What's it called? At least Matt Reeves, he had like a previous resume of Dawn and War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I love the action sequences in both Dawn and War.
Surprised Batman wasn't riding a horse at one point in this movie.
Oh,
If you-
Oh no!
Next
You know
one.
what? When if they ever, in the sequel maybe.
Yeah.
And they-
What the fuck? Why?
No, I'm saying if they do like a No Man like Batman No Man Land's adaptation, which apparently is one of Reeves' favorite takes.
Okay.
And also he does love 0 Year.
I would
Batman
like.
rides a horse.
Batman rides a horse.
He could also do what's it called? Just introduce Scarecrow. But I mean, we'll get into like I'm sure we're gonna speculate.
speculation
In,
and
yeah.
say- Okay. What
You're getting that producer brain of how many more people can we cram into the next one.
Yeah.
So quit that.
And also, okay, what do you guys also think about Matt Reeves' choice to focus what's it called, not do an origin story, but at the same time, he's focusing on Batman. I mean, you touched on it earlier, where it's year 2 Batman. He's
Yeah.
not fully formed yet, and he's still figuring out the ropes, but he's learned the basics, like his fight. Like we don't see his training montage video of it.
We don't see his parents die.
His own parents die, and all the characters have already been relationships that generally have been formed, like
Yeah.
with Alfred and stuff like that. And we
And
all learn from
Gordon.
subtext and context and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that choice?
It almost feels like we're watching a sequel to a movie, and I kind of liked it.
Yeah,
In-
that sequel was year 1.
in
Yeah.
this specific take, I kind of like it because it's going for the whole detective mystery thing anyway. So I don't know if it's the vibe.
It's this movie has the power of hindsight. There's so many Batman movies motivating this thing. Like there's that they're making a choice of who this guy is.
Which I
So-
completely appreciate. The fact that it's like, yes, we all know. Just like Spider-Man.
Ask a
we
random tourist on Hollywood, do they know who Batman is? Yes.
It's like with Spider-Man, I'm so thankful that like when they introduced him, they were like, oh, we don't need to show Uncle Ben dying again. Great power comes great responsibility. Although they did pull sneaky on us. But In this one, they're just like, oh, hey, you know what? You know who Batman is. Let's just get into it. Here is Batman. He's still figuring it out, but you already know what's going
you sign
on.
your waiver.
Oh, let me say this really quick.
What?
My favorite scene in the movie is kind of like this movie's version of the parents dying. It's when he's looking at the kid grieving his parent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking great. Tells you
that's-
everything you need to know about his
That's
character.
That's it.
That really is almost like this movie's version of Bruce Wayne watching his parents die. And I thought that was incredibly
Maybe the
effective.
real hero is the guy that offered his coat to the lonely child.
I fucking hate that line with the goddamn passion. By the way, I hate like 80% of Nolan's Batman lines though.
Oh.
Yeah,
No more dead cops.
That's it. Saying something nice about Dark Knight Rises. It's the most made. It's probably one of the most made fun of lines in that whole movie. But I still like. I get what he was going for when he does the not everything. Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Let's not stand on ceremony, Mr. Wayne.
Oh, yeah. Let's compare like Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves, portrayal of Batman to the previous ones, right? So in comparison, let's just start off with Nolan because we're bagging on him quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually generally like.
We can say it because
Batman
he's
Begins
he's
and
not
Dark Knight
wounded.
Rises.
No, he's up on top. He swung his big dick around, got his $100 million Oppenheimer film. He'll do fine.
I generally like Batman Begins and Dark Knight. Dark Knight Rises I think is hilarious, but I do still kind of like it. I will say though, my problem with those movies has never been Christian Bale. I actually liked his portrayal of Batman a lot.
I think Christian Bale was like fantastic.
The best part.
casting.
As far as
Yeah.
casting decisions go, they took his headshot, they slowly lowered the Batman cowl onto his headshot, and they go, "Oh my god, his chin is so sharp."
He's perfect for us.
He is perfect.
No, I think Dark Knight, Batman Begins, I feel like often gets overshadowed by the Dark Knight, and a lot of the aesthetic of what I liked about the Dark Knight trilogy was like kind of washed out by the time we got to Dark Knight Rises.
Oh
Like with Batman Begins, it's darker. Gotham feels kind of grittier.
It's like an underground part of the city.
Yeah, it's like everything's kind of just feels like more like what you would want from Gotham, and Batman as a character, like he looks kind of like washed out and everything.
There was hints at what the city was before
Yeah.
Gordon showed up.
And then I think like a tweet that Jeremy showed me earlier was, by the time we get to like Dark Knight Rises or even just Dark Knight, it's like Chris Nolan's version of
Chicago.
interpretation. Yeah, it was just like, it's Chicago.
He has
It's
low,
basically just
low
Chicago,
opinions of Chicago.
which is like why, I don't know, it's so lame. But with like when it comes to like, I don't know, recent ones, Batfleck, Ben Affleck is Batman, not bad, but I feel like they took all the wrong lessons and they're just like, Batman's got to be angry. He's got to be really angry. And then for like Batman versus Superman, he's just incredibly angry throughout the whole time, and it just felt off. His fighting style was cool. That's about it. And he's just, I don't know. It's not as good. I don't know.
It was a good 10 seconds of introducing Snyder's Batman, where he's just kind of hiding in the corner of the ceiling. How did he get there?
He's like
Skills.
zipping around.
And then there's that training montage.
I hate his costume so much.
His
It's
costume.
bulky.
Oh wait, you mean Ben Affleck?
Yeah, I don't.
No, I
like
love
it.
the costume.
I
I love
like-
the stubby
I
little
don't
thing. I
like
love the
it.
dark. It's
You
straight
like the
homage to-
built-in crows?
I know
crow's
it's the Dark Knight.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. I love that costume. That's not the problem I have
I
with
mean,
the Ben Affleck
congratulations.
Batman.
You
I have
like
a
a
lot
really
of problems,
expensive
but
version
one
of
of
that.
them is I just don't like the. I don't know. I don't like big giant tank bulky Batman for whatever
no,
reason.
It makes sense.
remembered.
He should be
I
a
just
tank 'cause-
remembered a joke in Peacemaker. It's like you're not shaped like a superhero. They usually have gymnast bodies. They're always ready to go.
This is definitely like Ben Affleck's Batman. What I didn't like
to-
about that was that they just jumped into, let's do Dark Knight Returns. Let's just do that. Let's just jump into where he's basically old and where he's kind of retired and he doesn't want to be Batman
Like
anymore.
he's already
It's like,
accomplished.
oh, thanks. Like, I don't know. I feel like we completely washed over all of his really most interesting times.
Yeah,
and
like
let's-
we didn't like at the point like well, I guess if you're gonna compare, let's like the specific portrayal, the portrayal director for the
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan thing. Actually, I'll go with the Ben Affleck. We're all talking about that right now. The Ben Affleck thing, I actually thought Ben Affleck himself as an actor, did a lot better than I thought he would when I watched the film, and I was like,
Yeah.
That guy used to being rich. Yes.
yeah, like he looks like Batman with the bat chin,
Yeah.
yeah,
and two, the physicality, he had that pretty well.
he's, I think, the tallest Batman that they've had so far.
And what's it called? And I was okay with the angry approach because we did have that Batman. Like he's probably closer to the Thomas Wayne Flashpoint portrayal.
Fair, yeah.
And and it, at this point, like, and that's the problem. Like, there was a lot of context that was missing.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to assume that Robin died, and the redhead
Well, they
storyline
kind of
happened.
hint at it with the shot of like the Robin costume.
That's
with
what I'm
the-
saying.
Yeah.
You have to just assume
But
with
it's
that.
like
And
that
that's like,
shot just makes me go, "Wow, that looks like it would have been a good movie."
yeah. So like,
Just to skip over one of his most interesting, powerful stories.
like that should have, like, there was like 2 or 3 movies that should have been there. Not just
Yeah.
one, 2 or 3 movies that should have been there before we got a Batman v Superman.
Yeah, that's kind of like that was my main thought. Like, Batman was inserted into a crossover event.
That's exactly
Yeah.
no. That's exactly what happened. It was just with Man of Steel 2, and Zack Snyder's like, "What if we had Batman in
Here's
there?"
the thing about Batman, like a lot of his stuff just is on the ground, just specific to the city. The moment, basically everything that's unique to Batman needs to happen before he starts encountering other people. So by the time that movie rolls around and there's already a very powerful alien that's just like decided to protect Earth, what's there for Batman to do?
yeah,
You
and
know.
they have to be like, oh, we'll make him like
Like,
this mech suit
yeah.
or whatever.
It's
he's
like
gonna blast people.
like every like superhero movie. What happens once you start introducing space and magic to the mix?
But he saves
What's
people
Batman?
from a falling building.
But
Yeah.
but my thing about
Shoots
that.
people with a shotgun.
But that thing about that, and maybe it would have been interesting to actually see him break that. But they broke the one rule: the Batman doesn't kill, and they just do it so
Well, he-
blatantly
he
without showing the
shoots
emotional
like
consequences.
Locust Man.
Yeah. But he doesn't even shoot them with like bullets that like knock them out.
They're
It's
not
just
people,
straight
they
up
ain't got no
bullets.
soul.
Yeah, straight up bullets and just killing
Yeah,
them.
he's branding people, which they stole from Moon Knight,
Yeah.
and like having them killed in prison. He's like, well, I
Disney
didn't kill
Plus end of the month.
Yeah, well, the aesthetic they got right. I think Zack Snyder got the aesthetic of Batman
them.
well.
Yes, I
and-
think so.
but
Him
it's
and
ju-
Tim Burton probably got it the most right.
It's just that
Before
when
Matt Reeves,
you
yeah.
already
Yes, before Matt Reeves.
when you already like bankrolled a movie that features like a very powerful alien, also very powerful Amazon woman, a sea god.
A sea god.
And,
and
and a man
basically
that can time travel via running fast. What
who's his
use
own
is there?
god.
What use is there with a man with complicated morals? So
He is the centerpiece. He is the master
he's
technician.
supposed to be the
Yeah.
emotional anchor.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Like I think
What's that?
obviously Michael Keaton's and Tim Burton's Batman. They, I think Tim Burton obviously seemed to have like a lot of love and admiration for the character, and when he was bringing it to life, it was definitely Tim Burton's version of it.
Actually, you know what? I have a kind of hot take on that one.
Really,
Hot take.
I actually, what's a
Hot
hot
take.
take? I think Batman, like the Tim Burton, well, and even him himself on records.
Yeah.
I actually don't think he likes Batman that much.
really.
Also,
Yeah.
because prior to that, what Batman stuff were there? There was the Adam West, and then there was the comics.
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
know.
and
Also,
also
like,
Tim
those
Burton
really
didn't love
poorly
comics that
animated.
much. Yeah, yeah. Tim Burton also didn't like the comics. Like he doesn't like comic
Yeah.
books
Oh,
that
yeah.
much.
Dad nerd. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like
Let's all dunk him.
he's like, and the way I saw is that he probably saw the comics and he's like, I don't care about Batman, but all these weird characters, like the villains,
yeah.
I'm way, and that's his trademark. Like he does
Yeah.
like the weird,
The
off
ultimate
kilter
theater kid,
kids.
Tim Burton.
Yeah,
Yeah. He clearly liked Joker, Penguin. He's like, I can make Penguin really fucked up.
yeah, and
Yeah,
Penguin.
he loves Joker. A guy so white he paints his face white.
Yeah. So it's like, if anything, I think those films are a good introduction to Batman. It's a good gateway drug to Batman.
Yeah.
But actually, they,
Strong visuals.
yes, and then and yeah, his production design of Gotham was one of the biggest sets ever
Unbeatable.
built at the time.
Yeah, I think the production designer
Soundtrack by Prince.
yeah, they said that like they basically wanted it to seem.
Yes,
Why do you not?
Yes, no, I
why is that
I
not always
remember
at
that.
the top of your brain?
but then I just like.
You're like
I-
extended
those are
music
actually,
numbers.
Those are actually the songs I like the least, and I try to block out of my brain.
I think they said
Yeah.
they wanted like we're talking about Tim Burton's like Gotham. They wanted like this industrial like hell to be literally looking like it's breaking through the city and just kind of like expanding
Yeah.
over it because it looks ugly, and they wanted to design it to look as ugly and visually
Yeah.
like gross as possible, like this kind of
Tim
brutalist
Burton's
Art Deco.
Gotham it's good, it's dense, but because all that set design was dense, they could only make so many places within Gotham. It's such a tiny city.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
it
It's
is.
always the same couple locations, the
They're
same
always
buildings.
stuff's always happening in town square.
Yeah.
That's it. And also, yeah, but that film, I think, like he didn't understand Batman that well. I think, right? Not
He knew,
lot
he knew
lot
the
more
bullet
returns.
points the same way like your mom knows Batman.
Yeah. He's like, oh, got killed.
Rich
Parents
man,
rich man dresses up as a bat to beat up criminals. That's
tuxedos.
about it. But all the stuff that we know about Batman, the torture soul of like the trauma that happens to the kid, is like surface level at best in those films.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually not until the second film we really see the duality of
Duality, man.
yeah.
Intriguing duality of Batman. Whatever.
But like like the totality of like that dual lifestyle has on Batman, particularly having in contrast with Selena Kyle.
Yeah, presupposes what Batman was allowed to be horny.
Yes. Oh yeah. Batman was super horny in both the Burton films.
They're very horny films.
He's like, oh, Vicky, ooh, yeah,
Oh,
Vicky,
yeah.
Selena, oh, she's coming in. Oh, let me get dressed up.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a real Hugo Boss type
Yeah.
of Batman.
Batman Forever, also very horny with Nicole Kidman.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's, so if like in a weird way, I enjoy them more as Tim Burton films.
Yeah.
Though Returns being the better one in my opinion, but I don't really enjoy them as Batman fans personally. Yeah.
Interesting. I
also
know people would fight you for that, dude.
yeah, and also Joker.
Whoa.
And all the scenes with Jack Napier following the vat, I
Nicholson.
hated everything with Jack Napier. What's it called?
Jack Napier?
That's the name of the character.
That's his name is Jack Napier.
Yeah, Jack Napier. Or
Yeah,
something,
because
something like that.
they're evoking one aspect of the Joker origins.
I see. Yeah. Again, you can clearly tell he's like, I saw Killing Joke. I can do this.
And I also hated I hate it. And I know fans will agree with it. I hated the fact that they made Joker Joe Chill.
The
that
killer
was
of his parents.
terrible. That defeats the whole purpose.
I get I almost see the studio think behind it though. You know what I mean?
That's how you know Burton didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Yeah.
He was like, but I kind of see.
You get
like,
what I'm saying though?
Yeah,
like,
they're
I get
almost
the
like-
studio thing.
They're interlinked forever now. Like it's kind of like and then they do the thing which was very common for superhero films back then and for a while where they kill him. They killed him right away and it's like, oh.
Because we didn't.
That would be like if in the first Spider-Man movie the Green Goblin killed Uncle Ben.
Exactly. Yeah.
If watching it again, it's like one like Batman. He doesn't really do martial arts. Like the one guy who does the flips, he just punches once.
Yeah.
The guy
Well,
falls.
He's definitely the stiffest
that was a
Batman.
costume decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the costume was cool, but it was a bad choice. Like it's just like it's more about like the atmosphere, the look, cinematography, and the production design that were what I liked about the
And
film.
Prince.
Yeah.
And,
Like,
and,
and-
not Prince.
those
Prince.
those movies really
aesthetic.
loved building the world of Batman, not necessarily the dude.
No. So I think as a Batman film it fails, but as a Tim Burton film it sings.
And as for this Batman, what I fucking love about it is how
Oh
much
right,
they,
we're talking about Matt
Yeah,
Reeves the
yeah,
Batman.
yeah.
Well,
Reeves
we are
the
comparing
Batman.
it in comparison.
Yeah,
Like,
is the fact that how they
we won't make
they-
Schumacher because Schumacher we talked about their toys.
Yeah,
they're
that's like
toys.
doesn't really count. They breathe Gotham into life into this film. Like you look around this city and it feels like obviously very inspired by the Arkham games, which are great by the way. And it's like you walk around and you feel it from the rain, from like just the general aesthetic that is so fucking dark. There's that gothic architecture that is like all over the place. Like this is a Batman that I could imagine like, hanging out next to a gargoyle.
Yeah. It is hard to make a believable Gotham that isn't just like anachronistic Art Deco, like animated series.
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah.
Like love that look, but also it's easy to do that in a time where there's still newspapers. You know,
Spinning newspapers whenever a headline comes out. It's like that's one of the things I actually do really love about the animated series is that the fact that they have it. It seems like it's kind of like this time. It's like stuck in the 40s or like in the 30s.
like the
almost.
best time for Batman.
Exactly, yeah. And then in this one,
Blimps?
it feels like the best modern version of Gotham that you can really get at. That still keeps
No
that
blimps,
Gotham
though.
soul.
There are no blimps.
It's
in
weird
Matt
because
Reeves
it
the
almost
Batman.
feels like a place that doesn't exist, but it also feels kind of gritty and grounded, which I like.
Have
I
you
thought
been to
it-
New York? It exists.
No, but I'm saying like
It
because it
exists.
feels very, very gothic and very, very comic booky, but it also kind of feels like real.
Like you could go there.
Yeah, like as opposed to obviously
Yeah.
the Dark Knight.
No one
the Dark
wants
Knight
to live
movies.
here, and that's what
In
makes
the
it
Dark Knight
believable.
movies, it
Except
feels
me. I would
real,
love to live
but
in
it's also
Gotham.
really boring.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
Yeah.
Very stylized. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's
Yeah, it is.
stylized.
It is very stylized.
Stylized and grounded, which is
Yes,
like a hard.
It's a hard combination.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to balance.
Yeah, it's like what's it called? It for me, it's with Matt Reeves' take on Batman compared to the other ones. I think he's the first guy who, even Christopher Nolan, he's not really that much of a Batman fan. He had to be a Batman fan while taking on the role. He's
Yeah.
really interested
Do
on
we
the
actually
take.
know who the art director for
Let's go.
Matt
No,
Reeves the Batman is?
I
We
have
never
not-
list those.
I know we never because they're not important.
They're like an important. They're an important third of the movie.
Yeah, they are important.
I'll look them
Okay,
up.
okay. As we're talking,
We're
Ron will
doing
look this
important
up.
work here.
What's it called? What's it called? Regarding how Matt Reeves treats the Batman compared to like Christopher Nolan and stuff like that. I think Matt Reeves was a Batman fan. He's the only director I felt like was a Batman fan.
Not that is a prerequisite.
No, it doesn't have to be. But I think in terms of like how it does inform your approach.
Yeah.
He was the first Batman director to be a fan of the source material before going into it, and brought a lot of that love into the film. And I think he's also the first Batman director to understand the core of the character the best that nobody else does.
Cork the white boys lost in the sauce.
Remember when Darren Aronofsky was supposed to make a Batman movie?
Yes, and I would have been excited.
Wish,
that would have been great because they didn't want.
Really wish
it was like he wanted to do a $150 million rated R movie film, and they were like, "Nah."
Didn't he also want to do like Poor Batman, or am I misremembering?
He at one point, but he was convinced out of it. He was convinced out of that.
The
yeah,
U.S. bestseller.
I want to see a Darren Aronofsky Batman movie.
I don't.
The production design is by James Chinlund. Great job.
Oh wait, yes, and he worked with Matt Reeves on all his other films, like
he's
the
worked
Planet of the Apes, right?
Yeah, he's done. He worked on The Fountain. He worked on War of the Planet of the Apes, Requiem for a Dream.
Art directors are
Speaking of
important.
Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah. I think what's it called? Like, I remember an interview where Matt Reeves says that now ever since the Apes films, every time he makes a film, he always hits up this the production designer. And he writes a script in tandem with the production designer. That's what he did for this one.
Salute your art directors.
Exactly, yeah. Because like when they go into like Wayne's tower, because it seems like Wayne Manor is like
no, it's an active decision to not really show House on the Hill.
Yeah, it's like there's a tower in the middle of downtown Gotham, which is kind of cool because it really just puts him right and smack in the city.
He's definitely the kind of guy that just sleeps in his office.
Yeah, and you go into like his dining room area, and it just looks like it was
mansion.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was created in like they built it in Ireland, in like or in France in like the 1400s, and then they transported it over to Gotham
Very expensively.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah, and I did like that. And I guess if we want to get into the Gotham City as a character, right? And then, like talking about the production design. So it was,
Do you think he's paying remodeling to repair the floors that he just spray painted on?
Does Batman, the billionaire, fucking repay the hospital bills of the poor people he beats the shit out of?
Well, no, obviously.
I feel like if one of the movies are going to address it, it'd be this one.
No, I think he purposely won't because he's like, this is your punishment for being a criminal, you little fuck. You know what I mean? On vengeance.
Enjoy the debt.
And and he's like, the nurses
have insurance.
The nurses
I don't.
The nurses need to get paid too, bitch. You know what I mean? The health industry loves Robert Pattinson Batman. He's always giving them new fucking clients every day.
So Batman, I had to get my face reconstructed.
It's like, that's what you get for being in the line of crime.
Anyways, how rich is he? He can just spray paint Sins of the Father on his own floor.
Yeah,
that's hardwood.
He'll do it himself because I know he doesn't have any help besides
Sins of the Father.
Yeah, Alfred.
He's also a crazy person.
Renewal plan.
Other than
you
Alfred,
watched the Dexter finale?
The female maid.
It's nice that they suggest there's other people living in that.
Yeah. There's like one other person.
It's like, he has an estate. Like
terrible news.
It's not just Alfred
That's
dusting.
what I've been trying to tell you.
Or maybe he has one more. Who knows?
Alfred's getting on his knees like.
Okay. Well, regarding Gotham City, so we talked about like his house, right? But I do like the fact. Okay, one of the big things I loved about this film is besides the nighttime,
It's not just parking structures.
Yeah, it's expansive. I feel like what's it called? Even though they did shot on the same street in Chicago for like for that one shot where Robert Pattinson jumps off the Gotham PD building.
Yeah.
I like the weather effects in this film. The fact that it's always raining.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they actually explain why it's always raining.
Yeah,
It's
and in all weird ways,
terrible place for a city.
It's the built-up sadness of all the residents just goes up and condenses in the sky.
and it just rains. And
Yeah.
stuff. One besides being a nice tip of the hat to Seven, which was always raining too.
Yeah.
But also in a weird way, it's a good story-wise. It kind of foreshadows what's going to happen near the end of the film, where how it
to remind you that
floods
there's
everything.
water.
Yeah.
When they go full, what's that Hugh Jackman reminiscence?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I
I think
love
Matt
that
Reeves has to answer to reminiscence.
Someday a real rain's going to fall.
the opening scene of this film is what really kind of establishes how great it is to me, where it shows Gotham on Halloween, and it's just like it's dark, it's raining, it's dreary. Everyone's costumes are like really creepy. And
Was
kinda
the opening
fucked up.
shot just the binocular view?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then then there's that
Creeper
opening
vision.
murder. It starts off with the murder. They
Which I
immediately
like.
see
It
the
felt very
Joker.
horror like.
Yeah, with the
that's
music, which
appropriate.
we got to talk about the music really quick. But
Oh,
like,
wait, no. Well, you let's
okay,
go.
well we can go to it later. We'll go to it
Yeah.
later. But no, I just love it again. But once it actually shows the effect that Batman has had on this Gotham in just the 2 years, where there's just so much crime all happening at once all over the place, which kind of always answers that question of like, why would people still commit crime in Gotham knowing that Batman is around? It's like, well, because he can't be everywhere.
Exactly.
And there's constant crime happening everywhere. So it's like Batman can kind of he's like, there's a chance you'll get beat the shit beaten out of you by Batman, but in this case maybe not. And just like them lingering on the shadows, showing him like that he could be literally kind of almost any corner. There's like, oh my God, like he could be there. Like you don't know. It's like, oh, beautiful. I love it.
The best part about this Batman is he slowly walks up, stares into your soul, and beats the fuck out of you.
Even that little sound effect of like it sounds almost like he's like in a western where you hear like
Yeah,
almost
it
like a
sounds
clink
as if that's it. Yeah,
from
yeah.
his boots.
His
just
boots
ting,
is metal because
ting.
it's just metal plates, bulletproof plates. That's his armor.
Yeah.
Everything like I love like the tactile nature of everything.
I like how
So
it looks
think,
kind of
his-
shitty. I like how his
Yeah.
costume's kind of like janky.
He made it.
Yeah, that's he said that. I think Matt Reeves said something about like I've been watching too much. Who's basically he's Commissioner Gordon, by the way, Matt Reeves.
Yeah, he's turned into Gordon. That's how much of a Batman fan he is.
What's it called? He was talking about how like the armor is just pretty much like Batman like getting whatever bulletproof material you had from R&D and just literally
Yeah, they
stitching
never
it up
really
together.
quite say out loud what like his family's business was.
Yeah, I know.
They founded
Politician,
Gotham.
Question mark?
They found the Gotham, yeah. And also he even says that like his Batmobile is literally just a car with an engine.
As
on
a
its
real
back.
Mad Max guy.
Yeah. That's
Well, yeah, which is fantastic. I love that. Like when he first starts that chase scene with Penguin, like it kind of sputters. It's just like, oh crap, it didn't work right away because
you see the headlights.
Yeah, he's clearly just built this thing himself, which is awesome.
And that adds to the tactile nature of this
Yeah,
character.
he's
at this point.
the
Self-made,
man of the
you know?
people. He makes his own vigilante tools.
Yeah, and you can clearly tell at this point there's no Lucius Fox helping him with
Yeah.
this
Oh
thing,
no.
which I would be curious to see. There's always people speculating it's gonna be Michael B. Jordan coming in to fucking making
You,
stuff. For
you,
him.
That's
you
a
don't necessarily do
choice.
1-to-1.
That is a choice. I wouldn't want him though.
He's a
would-
No.
little young for the role.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of pictured Lucius being older.
Yeah, unless they do. I mean, I'm okay with it being younger, but just not Michael B. Jordan.
Nah,
Yeah,
that's like
oversaturated.
feels like a waste. Like I
Yeah.
feel like he should be doing so much more. But whatever. Yeah, I think I wouldn't be mind with someone else coming in and just being like, "Hey, let's kind of level up your tech a bit," but still kind of keeping it.
The thing
with
is,
that,
it's still doing the job.
I kinda
he's
like
not
the
going to
janky
do it.
tech,
Yeah,
though.
he's not going to improve it until he
fun.
actually like gets mortally wounded.
He almost did in this one like multiple times.
Yeah,
true.
he definitely wrote into his journal shotguns.
Yeah.
bad. Ouch.
Okay, so
he saw the
while we're
limits of
talking about
technology.
his costume, I love the cowl thing. I love his extra raised stiff.
Oh yeah,
collar.
Yeah.
his little
I love it separate from
collar.
his cape.
yeah, he can like turn his head more
turn
comfortably,
his
which is
head.
cool. Dark Knight had that. Batfleck's response was that it's kind of just leathery or not
Yeah.
leather, like that kind of like that foamness to it, which also I'm fine with that too.
Yeah. It's like bulletproof.
I'm a
like
fan of
R&D, whatever.
The angular face of it, his
Yeah.
little nose thing, the visible stitches.
I was gonna say I would think that like I would hope that in the next rendition of his cowl they do kind of fix up that patch on his nose. It did
I
look
do-
a little goofy, at least definitely in the light, like in the
Yeah.
daytime at the end.
he'll
He's like,
he'll
eh.
get a seamstress to do like one of those little
Yeah.
like invisible.
I agree with you. It
guards
looked
over.
goofy. I was okay with it because it makes sense that
I made
he
it.
just did it himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
again, that's why I'm fine with it. But I'm like, I would want him to like upgrade.
Yeah, he will upgrade it. Eventually, Alfred will come in. He's like, "This is wrong. I'll do it myself." You know what I mean? But yeah, I do like that. And I do, and it's kind of like, yeah, I want to see in year 3 Batman like some improvements. I don't want it to be full
honestly, I
on.
would like a more significant time jump
Yeah.
than just one more year.
I bet you that's what
My-
we're gonna do. Year 3,
Another
year
Halloween.
4. You know what I mean?
My biggest fear would be that in the next movie he's like 100% like awesome. I don't want that.
No, he
No,
needs
no,
to
no.
constantly be
I want to see
figuring it out.
gradually. Because
No.
that was one of my favorite aspects of the movie was how like kind
Or
of
Daniel
at the bottom
Craiging
he
this
is.
Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll see some improvements. I trust Matt Reeves. I trust. Okay, let's get into cinematography by Greg Fraser, who is low key.
He's Australian, so it's Greek Frisia.
Is it Greek? Is that how you say it?
It's Greg Fraser.
If you ever had the time, look up the Roger Deakins podcast he did.
Oh, okay.
He had an interview with him during the lockdown.
It's a much better podcast than this one.
It's very good. It's very
You're
good.
saying we're on the
Very
level of Roger
illuminating.
Deakins? Huh? The GOAT of cinematographers?
Anyway, so Greg Fraser his history is good. He did music videos, he did commercials, then he started doing features.
Most
films.
recently, he's done Mandalorian, Dune.
He
Vice.
created the look of Mandalorian, actually.
Yeah, he's a big proponent of volume lighting.
Did Foxcatcher,
Yeah.
which I don't think anyone remembers.
No,
yeah,
yeah,
Foxcatcher
just
was
shot
great.
completely
Yeah,
against
absolutely.
a virtual wall.
Yeah, no one mentions how much tech was used in Foxcatcher. It was entirely CG backgrounds. They weren't in New England at all. But yeah, no, it's fantastic in this film. Like, it's incredible. Like, there's so many scenes that, oh gosh, like they're kind of like breathtaking. The silhouettes, again, that dark orange aesthetic. The closest we get to like is daybreak or sunrise or sunset, like kind of peeking through. So we stick with that orange light. This entire like Gotham doesn't seem to have any LEDs. Everything is kind of like this like that
Dark
sulfur
red.
kind of like orange color.
That
everywhere.
said, he's using LEDs.
Oh yes,
Oh, yeah,
of
no,
course,
he is,
As,
of
yeah.
as a
course, yeah.
gaffer, I do appreciate like his knowledge of new tech coming in. Like he's a big proponent of LEDs. He's definitely using arrays to get those effects.
It's fantastic.
You know.
I'm thinking like the biggest trademark for his cinematography, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, is like it's in almost all his films, because I was watching like just revisiting like Killing Them Softly or Zero Dark 30, is that he usually he would have like very little fill light, but then his key light's not super strong. It's very soft, right? He uses like a fucking
Yeah, he lets the environment be the bounce contrast.
Like
Yeah.
I just posted a small clip of like BTS on our Instagram.
Oh, I know. I saw
By the way,
that.
follow. Yeah, and you can see like the key light where he's fighting.
he's outside of
Catwoman.
the set walls,
Yeah,
and then he walks in frames.
yeah, and there's like there's a frame right there which it looks like kind of like an opal, which gives it
it's
kind
half
of that
soft
soft.
frost. Everyone loves half soft frost.
It creates that kind of softer look on
Filmmaking
it,
insight.
and which makes sense because in that scene it's kind of more only lit by like moonlight or whatever those street lights that are outside, so it kind of keeps
Right,
it.
it's
dark.
always motivated lighting. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
another
it's-
thing with him.
And it's dark, but it's clearly very bright when they film it at first, and then they just darken it in post, which is fine because you can do that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, follow Jeremy's unmotivated
Or don't.
lighting.
I like that my followers is like under 90 people.
Not for long.
Only real
Hopefully
ones
you'll get up
know.
to
Please don't
92
tag
after
me.
this.
Don't tag me.
You might just get up to 92 after this episode.
Lose some. Oh, this is the voice behind it.
Okay. Well, you go on before I. Yeah.
No, that was pretty much it. Like again, it's just in terms of like the lighting and just how well it looks. It's great.
They were able to create a consistent aesthetic that I think everybody
Yeah.
probably appreciated.
Yeah. Even like that fight sequence where he's getting like he's trying to go inside of Falcone's like room and he kind of blacks everything out and it's only lit by the machine gun fire.
Yeah, that
Fucking
was-
awesome.
I thought that
That's
scene was
good.
kind of funny.
Really? I think it was
I
really
thought-
well. I
You know,
loved it.
technically, it's not the first time we've seen Batman go into a club, but it's just always kind of funny
Walk
to
in
me.
the club.
Like,
Yeah.
like they
Oh,
did
wait,
that in
wait,
Dark. They did that in Dark Knight too.
Wait, I think he's talking about a different scene.
Yeah, there's a scene
The
where he's
elevator
fighting
is,
people
like,
in the nightclub,
He
and then the
interrupts
scene,
the Falcone.
Yeah, because remember when
fight.
Yeah.
Falcone was about to kill Selena? He's choking him out.
Oh,
and he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and it's only lit by like the muzzle fire from the
it's
guns.
a-
It's like,
it's
yeah.
the other
I
one-
was mixing
it's-
up
It's
the
not the
two
first
scenes from
one.
the
That's
club.
a shout out to Equilibrium
Yes, yeah.
for classic
Super
lit by
underrated.
muzzle fire.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, actually, okay. Just out of here.
Even like sorry, I was
Christian
even say
Bale.
Sicario. I think has a scene similar to that. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this: do you guys think that film was shot in, like, what's it called, in
Are you talking about Equilibrium?
No.
I also thought you were talking about.
Okay, the Batman. What's it called? That's it called.
Are you talking about the muzzle fire scene?
Yeah, the muzzle fire scene. Do you guys think that they shot that in one take, or they shot it over multiple takes and they just kind of
They had the money to attempt one take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they could have it could have been done like one sequence, or they could have done it a few times.
I think
I
it
don't
was
see
so
why.
precise.
I
I
mean,
think they should probably shot it over.
There's
multiple
room
times
for
and just-
skepticism
Yeah,
because
that
it is
would be
just
my guess.
pauses.
Yeah,
It's
either-
the pauses of blackness. Like I can understand why you would think it would just be composites.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would do that if I would just be like.
It
let's-
seems tough, but I feel like they have enough time that they could have like rehearsed
Yeah, they can
it.
do choreography. Matt Reeves will make time for choreography.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
could kind of just make it work within that team because I feel like that's also something Matt Reeves would
Because-
push for.
because
Because another thing is,
storyboarding
it also
is
timed
just-
well with the music too, like
Yeah.
so precisely.
That's
I'm
true.
thinking like to do it in one take. I don't know if everyone had earpieces to the choreography. To
Yeah,
the
they can
thing.
do
It's
that.
impressive.
They could,
Yeah.
or they could have also again because it is cuts black in between. They could
Yeah,
also
could
just cut it in between.
stitch it or just
Yeah.
like
They can do
composite
whatever
on
they
top
want.
of each
You
other.
can make the timing whatever you want.
I wouldn't
Exactly.
put it
It's
past them
magic.
if they did try to make it on one take.
Yeah, BTS, please. I want to see. I one thing I really hate about Blu-rays is that they don't put enough fucking behind the scene footage.
Well,
It's
because
just-
that's
it's
trade
all-
Hopefully,
secrets.
this will
Yeah.
get a Criterion release.
That's trade secrets.
Yeah, so please give us all your trade secrets and stuff like that. Let's go. I know Ron is saying it's gonna be a long episode, Ron. You have to deal with it.
Oh my God.
You have to deal with it. What's it called?
We're like at the 20% mark right now.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
You got it's a 6 hour. I'm just kidding. No, we're actually going through. We actually
I
don't
gotta
have
wake
that
up
much
at like 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, we actually
Sorry,
don't
no, I
have
have to be at work at 5 a.m.
I don't sleep at
It's
all,
fine.
Ron.
It's fine.
I don't sleep at all.
It's fine.
Be like Batman, a nocturnal animal for 2 years.
I've been up since
Alright.
4 a.m. just so everyone is aware.
Oh, and
Okay.
so, okay, let's go real quick. And one last thing I'm gonna
What do you
say.
see real quick?
Well, one last thing I'll say about Greg Fraser. I really like the fact, like, it's
Greek
really
Fraser.
Greek Fraser. It's really cool. Really cool. I didn't know that they shot it on digital. And I talked about Jeremy and Ron before this. I mean,
and me.
they converted to film. Did I? I don't remember you. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
God.
They can convert it to film later, and then after that, they did a double bleach.
Yeah, again, because Greek Fraser's like he knows current technology. He knows the look he wants to go for. And
Yeah, I
It
didn't know that
requires-
Dune was a guinea pig.
Yeah.
He tested it out on Dune.
what
so they could
what
do
an
it
expensive way to try something new.
I know, right? I'm sure.
because it adds to the texture. Like everything has texture to it.
It's about
everything looks-
texture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, whether it's
Okay, so
and then the action scene. Let's
this,
talk
is,
about.
this is my catchphrase if I ever show up again. It's about texture.
It sounds so sensual when you say. Can you say it again
Yeah,
slowly?
It's about texture.
Oh god, I was so turned on. Oh gosh, it's an instant boner. You know what I mean? Let's talk about the car chase scene.
Fantastic.
Holy shit!
you.
And then, speaking of-
I got
yeah.
you.
Speaking of like everything being texture or tactile, the fact is that apparently like for most, unless he had to show like like a wider shot to show just what's going on in the thing.
Yeah.
Most of the cameras were mounted onto the cars, and that was most of the shots comprising
Sick.
the thing.
We love to
Excellent.
disorient our audience with just inside roll cage sequences.
No, I thought it was great. Like they mounted the camera inside of the car. Most of the chase scene seems like it's from like it's kind of you see the action going on from the perspective of the drivers.
It's supreme tunnel vision. It's a dangerous thing to be doing at
Yeah.
night in the
Yeah.
rain.
It reminds me of like when you're playing like I'm trying to think of like Gran Turismo.
Oh my god!
Not Gran
Not
Turismo.
Gran
That's
Turismo. Not
most
Gran
that's
Turismo.
that's most by the
Bandicoot,
book.
Crash Bandicoot.
Drive Bandicoot. Or no,
or
yeah.
Mario Kart, those
Yeah.
kind of
Or
driving
Need for
games.
Speed. Yeah.
Or like Need for Speed, and like you go to like that hood vision where it's kind of like you're lower to the ground and it feels like you're
Yeah.
kind of really close there.
So
Yeah.
yeah, what really sets the tone for it is that we showed the car starting up. It's not the best car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not an indestructible vehicle, so it really helps raise the stakes on that sequence. Like he knows as much about driving than you do, probably.
Yeah, it's not like the tumbler, which I think the tumbler's badass. It's cool.
It's a cheat code.
It's
but it's a cheat code.
it's overdone.
but it is a tank that
Yeah.
can just plow through everything. It's driving on rooftops, like it's just kind of flying everywhere, and it's got a rocket in the back. That's cool.
Yeah, it's already too souped up already.
Yeah, this one is like it's a muscle car with a rocket attached to the back of it, so it's gonna like it's in danger.
It's like the way it bounces. It's such a fragile thing.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it has, but it pays off when you have those badass sequences where it kind of just jumps.
We love driving against traffic.
Yeah. Oh, that was super.
The
tense. I love
fantasy
that.
of driving against traffic. I never get to do that.
But Penguin did. What's it called? Yeah, but the car chasing, yeah, just made it more immersive and stuff like that. Like as the rain hits the lens or as the camera's like when the car shakes, the camera shakes, stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
cool. And in the action sequences, one last bitch against Nolan. Fuck you in Batman Begins. Fuck you, Christopher Nolan. I love you. I met you. We met you at the fucking
He
doesn't
doesn't
want
remember
space
that.
Screening
Odyssey.
where we invited Blake,
Yeah.
but he didn't show for some reason.
Yeah, he doesn't show invite for anything. Anything requires effort for him to go, he won't come. I'm just kidding, Blake. I'm blasting on you, but I'm not kidding at the same time. But it's what's it called? But fuck you, Christopher Nolan. Batman Begins. Like, who in the world? I was just watching that scene where Batman first fights and puts on the costume against like, where are you?
yeah.
And then Falcone. And I get it. The whole point is so disoriented, but I
Yeah.
also think part of it because if that was the case, how come every single action scene in that one is shot like super fucking close and you can't see where the hits are landing?
I mean, because you'll find out that he's just been shooting against the same storage container.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And on top of that, like he's like, there's
I do all my clandestine deals against storage units.
Like to be fair, because I hear what you're saying, I did hear Nolan say that he wanted it to feel more like like it's like kind of like an animal, like he's fighting, like he's close and whatever.
Yeah, but you could do that, but also there's Gareth Evans. Or
Yeah.
is it, no, Gareth Edwards, right? The Raid
Gareth
director.
Yes.
Is it,
Gareth Edwards, Godzilla.
Oh no, that's Godzilla. Gareth Evans is the one for the Raid, right?
Yes, that's
he
it, yeah.
he
That's
knows
right.
he does that. He makes you feel like a ferocious animal, but you see what the fuck is happening because it's
Yeah.
center frame. And this one, it's like holy shit! It's like somebody with Phasm was making the
Yeah,
shit.
again, Christopher Nolan didn't do action yet. He didn't do fight choreography.
He put a lot
really.
of trust in his like stunt coordinators and that, and they got used to we're going to do tight angles so we can hide our edits.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's
And
just
very bad, very very fucking bad. Fuck
Like
you,
we
Nolan.
don't have to worry about getting it all done in one take.
Enough of the fuck it mentality, Nolan, where you're just like sometimes just like fuck it, you know. You gotta stop.
Sometimes fuck it. I'm
Have
wearing
a-
a suit on set.
Have a shot list. Okay, let's get into the supporting characters.
Let's.
The main ones would be Penguin, Gordon, and Carmine Falcone.
We didn't even talk about Catwoman.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the next
Well,
one.
that's
Well, she's the main
that's-
character. She's
That's a
actually-
whole
yeah.
topic unto themselves.
Yeah.
Gordon, like I said, best on-screen Gordon. I like their established relationship. I don't know, it's going to be a really reaching and weird comparison, but it almost kind of reminded me of like season 1 Jesse and Walt, of just like two like idiots that are kind of like way out of their league. Like I don't know. I really liked it. I really liked their dynamic.
no. Their dynamic was, I think, one of the things that helped carry this movie.
We don't have
honestly.
Philip's attention.
Yeah, you cast Jeffrey right because you want like a street man.
Yeah,
He's just really really good at it. He can do that.
he's
Mr. can't
good at
keep
his job.
glasses on right.
He cares. You know,
Yeah,
and
he
you
does.
believe it.
I love their fucking dynamic.
I did like the fact and it was already pre-established, and this is the most like they really feel like partners in
They
detectives.
feel like buddies. Like,
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
That's one of the things I always love because we talked about how this is a detective Batman, which is what Matt Reeves was going for because he's the best detective.
The
This is
world's
from-
greatest detective.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like
Not yet.
him and James, or
Look, he already
sorry,
has all his T-shirts.
him and James are like partners in many storylines. They work together because he's not just the guy who feeds
People
him
are really
information.
obsessed with he's always disappearing on him.
Yeah.
like, end of scenes
And this one, it's like, no, they're trying to ride together because they're both
Yeah,
trying to
ride
figure
or
this
die.
out. And that's great.
because
I love
he's
it.
the only good cop.
Yeah, he's the only good cop. I did like that fact. And I also like the fact that Gordon is actually competent, like really competent in
He's-
this one.
Yeah.
He good enough to make commissioner.
Not yet. Yeah, he's still lieutenant, right?
Yeah,
He'd
he-
probably be sergeant.
Well,
in
he
the next
gets
one.
neg-
No, no.
he gets
No, no,
promoted to
lieutenant,
captain.
lieutenant is above sergeant, right?
He gets
I
promoted to
definitely
captain
captain.
via a mystery string of
Yeah.
murders.
Between his boss was murdered, so that's a vacancy.
Technicality.
Well, no.
The best
he
technicality.
still wouldn't be promoted. It would be what's his name? It's the GCPD chief, like Mackenzie Boak. Remember the guy who talks like this?
Yeah.
What
I
was-
love,
is
His whole
Colin
lifetime is talking like that, so he only talks in like the whisper.
yeah. It's just like
can't get it past my throat.
you gotta get this guy out of here. It's like talk some sense into him.
I did almost crack up accidentally. I thought it was rude.
Oh, you're trying to say something about me? Oh, I love this guy. Oh, I love Con O'Neill. I love Con O'Neill, underrated actor.
I just saw him in Our Flag Means Death on
yeah.
HBO.
Oh, you're watching that show? It's weird.
Yeah, I
Now
watched only a
streaming
little
on
bit,
HBO
but he's in there.
Max.
I was like, oh shit, there he is, and he's British in real life, of course.
Yeah.
or maybe Irish. I'm not sure entirely.
What was it? He's just excellent. They're always better than Americans in acting, right? that's what the Brits are and the Europeans are trying to say.
I'm gonna give a shout out for Rosie real quick, the Officer Martinez. She's like,
Yeah.
if hopefully Martinez is in the next film, and I hope so too.
Because
I
he
think he was a
dies.
great cop. Like
I also like the fact that the cops have a lot more characters in this one, and they're more
he
integral
provides
to the
them
I'm
plot.
Important
sorry, Philip,
context
really
clues.
quick, based on your notes, I didn't realize that Paul Dano played the Riddle.
What's it called? He is the Riddle. You didn't know that?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Matt
Yeah.
Reeves the riddle.
yeah, and then also, I mean, we're talking about side characters here. Like Colin Farrell as the Penguin was fucking fantastic.
Oh,
I loved
it
every second he was on
transformed.
screen.
Into
Yeah,
that
he
role.
had to take his
Fucking-
prosthetics off. right?
Yeah, to become the Penguin.
Yeah,
What's
we
it
got to
called?
see Colin Farrell's true face
Yeah.
come on screen. But no, man, he just had that like devilish grin on his look.
He's good at being scuzzy.
Yeah,
it's not even just his prosthetics. Yeah, it's like the voice, the way he walks.
It's real Robert De Niro Casino.
I'm just the
That's good.
provider.
I'm just a purveyor of goods.
Fantastic. And again, that car chase scene, part of it is seeing Colin Farrell just kind of have fun. Like, I got you. I got you.
He's crazy. Come on, get me.
He's the only, like, he's one of the few characters that's actually funny. You know, this is a very dour film, but like him and Jeffrey Wright are probably the only characters who like
they're
crack
allowed
a joke.
to be funny.
Yeah.
El Rata Alada. Am I the only one who knows the difference between El or La?
It's the worst Spanish I ever heard.
No habla español. It was like,
Oh, you can't just leave me tied up here.
you sons of bitches.
That's a good one. I think that scene really hides the kind of dumb revelation. You are L. Are we? That's gonna be a separate topic. Just like the weird plot points that just kind of glided over your smooth brains.
No, I guess like that. You know, I did like that fact because it was such a simple riddle that Batman overcomplicated because he was just overestimating. It's just a phonetic thing. Like,
I love that the whole car chase was just a wacky misunderstanding. Ain't
You're
no,
the rat with wings.
Ain't no harm done.
You know what that sounds like? A bat. Enough. Okay, we were kind of going on that Penguin. Oh yeah, I love it. HBO Max series, I will definitely watch if it's all. Colin Farrell signed on as executive producer. Apparently, he's all in.
Soon to be streaming on HBO Max.
Yes, best streaming service. What's it called?
Bandcamp is the best streaming service.
Well, what do you guys think about John Turturro's Carmine Falcone?
I love John Turturro in
Different
general.
take than Batman Begins.
I love it. You can't tell him to not
So when did
use
the
his
nut
voice.
take over
Yeah,
the
you can.
nut house?
You can never not tell him to just do his voice.
I like that this Carmine Falcone seems like a very tired, exhausted one, where he's still sleazy.
It really is a weird decision on who gets to be young versions of themselves and gets to be old.
Yeah.
Long Halloween Falcone, just a real beefy man.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't quite have the same physicality, I guess.
He doesn't need to be strong.
But then again, Carmine Falcone is like with one character has like so many different interpretations and just how they look that it's so.
I suppose he has to be conceivably old enough to have known Thomas.
Exactly.
In his prime.
I like that they kept like the scratches on his face. Like he has like those kind of claw marks looking like on his face. Am I wrong? Like I thought I saw.
If it wasn't,
stars.
then Selena definitely added that.
No, that only happened at the end.
That was only at the end.
Yeah, because when he scratched his face.
Oh
yeah, really dug in. Shout out to Nails.
Nice. But I love that look. I think Turturro is fantastic. I think he does kind of have like he's a little creepy, he's a little scary, but
he wears his sunglasses at night.
Rendition.
Yeah.
So when did the nut get to the nut house? They scream and they cry.
I like
you got spirit, kid.
What was that Falcone or was that?
That's Falcone.
That's Falcone. They did Falcone first and then Maroney in the second one.
Yeah. Which they could totally do. Well, no, actually, they're both.
No,
kind
the
of
Maroni's
done.
gone.
Yeah, Maroni's gone.
That's the whole plot.
Yeah.
You forgot. I think you were a Batman fan.
Okay, no, but I love that. Like now,
you can't tell the difference between Maroni or Falcone. What's wrong with you?
Are you racist?
If you're
racist towards Italians.
Their names are ending in vowels. I'm sorry.
No habla Italian.
But I think John Turturro did a great job. Is what I'm trying to say. Okay. I think I like that he did have the sunglasses on the whole time because you can't exactly
because he loved that song.
Yeah, you can't quite read his eyes, the whole time, so you can't really tell when he's bullshitting or not. And the fact that he's able to just completely lie to Bruce and then
completely lie bold-faced to just everyone in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like you can't trust anything this guy says. But great.
Yeah. I didn't know that he was based off of Whitey Bulger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What's it called? Because Whitey Bulger was also like an informant to the FBI and stuff like that, and was able to basically escape his entire life and was running Boston for the most part.
You going Henry Hill on me?
Yeah. And also, Whitey Bulger also loved to strangle women consistently. And that's what they brought over this one, is how he's trying to strangle Hanukkah and his own daughter by Selena Kyle. Which let's get into it. Let's get into good old the Cat and the Bat, the Catwoman, Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman or Selena Kyle.
Fantastic.
Yeah, she was really good.
What do you think of her performance, and how does it compare to the previous portrayals?
Like right out the gate, just kind of like she knows the role. It's nice that they introduced her as just anonymous waitress.
Yeah. What's it called? I know what's it called. I know people were like really beholden to the Michelle Pfeiffer rendition of the character.
Well, they're all 37, so
yeah.
I think she did like such a fantastic job of kind of like making this role herself, like her own. She really brought like this sensuality to her, but she's strong. She's not just overly sexualized. She's not just a sexual character, but she does have that sexiness to
She also
her.
didn't have to do that like transformation from like naughty to hottie thing. Like she was really at the
Yeah.
gate,
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
like
She
aware of herself.
exactly. She kind of she already was completely aware of herself. She knew what she had, and she kind of, even like just the way that she moves, the way that she kind of like walks around, fantastic. Just she kind of had that physicality to her, which makes her a Catwoman. Which is
Apparently,
cool.
not even joking. She said like she researched hours and hours and hours of like lions and cats and walked on paws for like in her apartment.
I mean, that's
That's
just
And I
good
was like,
exercise.
that's weird, but cool. Like, there's like one point when she's walking in the club, and she's like the way she moves her like shoulders and like her
Yeah.
hips. I'm
Yeah,
like, it
again,
does,
she
yeah.
is
You're
she's
feeling
aware
like,
of herself. She knows how to walk like a model.
I also like how basic her attire is.
Yeah,
Also going in line with like just the janky costumes.
the year
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
Catwoman.
We
yeah.
love our vinyl suits.
Yeah.
And
She
like,
literally
this
just has like a beanie she cut like
verbal
a
meme.
Yeah, which
Like,
makes sense because she's really poor. She's
Yeah.
really poor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
She has a lot of
overdue.
cats.
Well, why does she leave her fridge open?
Rosie was also very upset with that. She's like, I can't believe she left her fridge open. It's like, they left it open. It's like, yeah, but then she took the milk out and she didn't close the fridge.
She knows she's not going to stay there.
Yeah,
And
that's exactly
that's another
fair.
thing. And also, I think like not gonna lie, Selena doesn't seem like the most like anal retentive or
She's
detail-oriented person.
she's a little preoccupied with
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, she's got like 15 cats, you know.
Yeah, and those cats. Oh fuck! She loves Gotham. Did she say she only took one cat?
You
Kind
can't-
The rest are, you
I
know,
mean,
the rest are
fine
just
were
with
you
gonna
it.
be
hoping
gone.
she had
Yeah.
like a little clown car situation with the cats?
Yeah, she actually opens up that little
Yeah.
like
She didn't have
box
us like
and-
a sidecar
Yeah.
on their motorcycle. It was just cats.
And I did like the homage to the Selena Kyle and Falcone relationship. Like I was worried that are they gonna reference in the sequels, but no, they just straight up like he's my dad. You know.
Yeah.
And I did like that relationship too, stuff like that. What do you guys think about the chemistry between and the romance between her and Batman?
Fantastic.
Do you guys
Subtle.
buy the chemistry?
I liked it. Yeah.
I love that, again, just at first sight, when she first walks in and she's not, you know, Catwoman, she just is like the waitress or whatever, and she's just immediately stopped and is like struck by Batman.
Yeah.
Also,
'Cause it's
to be
like-
fair,
it's
if
the
you were a
chin.
waitress and you walked in,
Yeah.
and in a world where Batman, the comic and character, doesn't exist, if there was a dude dressed as a bat talking to your boss, you'd be like,
But she wasn't weirded out.
I know.
She was turned on.
Okay.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
I love about it. It's like she was just kind of, she looks at him and she's like, I'm
It's
with
the-
it.
it's the
Yeah,
chin.
at first she was weirded out, and then she was like, "Damn, this guy's his jawline."
Yeah, she's into it. And the
Yeah.
fact that like he reads her and he's immediately struck by her as well.
Yeah.
And they both kind of, I think they read
Strong
each other.
chin, like stands up against her boss.
Yeah.
Like when they first met, and then he was like telling her to be quiet. And by the way, I love their love theme by Michael Giacchino.
Oh,
which we'll get
so
into in a
good.
bit. The strings,
Oh, it's so good.
and then when they were when he was holding and the Geokina thing comes out, and then they're like she's all moving and stuff all sensually. I was like, I got a little bothered. I was like, ooh. I was like, oh, okay, gotta stretch out a bit. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
the
I mean,
people next to me.
we
were
love
weirded out.
our fight sequences as metaphors for like the ritual.
Yeah, the ritual. By the way, for our audio only listeners, which
I
everybody.
dabbed.
Yeah,
I'm
he
old.
dabbed. He dabbed. Jeremy dabbed. What's it called? Yeah, I really did like the Bat and the Cats. All right, what do you guys think of Paul Dano as the Riddler?
He
Or
was
out on
great.
the notes, the riddle.
Always
He
love
was
Paul
my
Dano.
favorite part of the whole movie.
Always love Paul Dano.
He's
Paul
great.
Dano's great in everything. He didn't get the shit beat out of him though, which is disappointing.
I mean, a
I love
lot of proxies of him got beat
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
That one guy, what was his name? Vengeance?
yeah.
That guy got the shit beat out of him.
There's-
He-
there's-
he-
there's-
That guy, you know, one of my biggest flaws of that movie is it sounded like Batman did a lot more damage than when they take his mask off.
It's just
Oh wait,
a-
okay.
it's
When
just
we
a
get
good
to flaws,
mask.
I will talk about that. That
It's
is
just a good
kind of
mask.
annoying.
It's like I was like, bro, that dude's face was mush.
It's a good
If
mask,
it was
though.
rated R, he would have
Which
been
I wish
mush.
it was.
He would have looked like Jared Leto in Fight Club. Like
Yeah.
he would just boom, boom, boom.
Quick aside then, if we're going to just talk about like his proxies, that the chat room when he's talking about his plan, I wanted to freeze frame and just read all the comments that are happening as he's talking.
There's like a bunch of emojis.
There's like
and shit.
rifles are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the mask online or whatever.
Yeah, I know. Oh god, that's.
But yeah,
that's
I love Paul Dano. I mean, Paul Dano's great in literally everything that he's in.
Paul Dano, my mano.
I love how much like characterization he's able to like
Trademark.
That's a good one.
He imbues so much in just like whether it was the videos or the way he walks,
just
or
with his
lips.
eyes.
Yes.
Like he's just you get to see all the expression and everything just like as he's like
yeah,
squinting
it's-
and
oh,
wow.
when
He
like,
gets a lot out of just like a really bad fuzzy close up of his face.
Yeah, like when they
he's doing
arrested
a lot
him.
of acting. Yeah.
Like you remember the scene where he?
Oh yeah, the mouth acting.
Oh.
Paul Dano's so good with his mouth. Trademark.
But once again, I
Trademark.
loved his janky fucking costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Which was
just like,
that
I
was
made
inspired by
this.
Very,
the
very
Zodiac.
Zodiac inspired. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. I made this.
But I loved it. It's like kind of shittier than the Zodiac one though.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just tape.
And
So,
on some level, it works too because it's easily reproducible.
yeah. If something
essentially.
happens, you just
Yeah.
throw it away.
You
And
think
he's
the
poor
next
too.
one? You think next one he's gonna have a bowler hat and a tie and suit and a
Oh
cane?
yeah,
He's
like
gonna
it's,
be
he glows.
hey.
A real glow up.
No, I bet you, when we get to, you know what? When we get to speculation, I'll talk about that in a bit.
Sorry, real side tangent, but like I always thought like it was kind of hilarious in Batman Forever that it's like their version of like the suit and tie would have worked probably so much better.
No,
but they
the
decided
leotard.
a fucking
Oh, they were
onesie.
leotard.
Yeah, they're like here's a leotard where he's like
question mark the entire time.
yeah, it's like bam, the Jim Carrey's crotch is front and center. It's like great.
Did you guys think it was the right choice for villain for this year 2 Batman? And also,
yes.
I've been hearing some complaints online that some people actually think he's over the top. And by the way, for those people,
Define over the top.
Yeah, exactly. Say one, you know what's called read the Mindhunter book or just watch any serial killer interview. And 2, shut the fuck up, you're wrong.
Yeah, real serial killers are fucking weirdos. Like they're really
I don't think
weird.
it's over the top because I actually think my favorite scene in the whole, well, my second favorite scene, first favorite is I've already talked about, but my second favorite scene is like the interrogation room scene,
Yeah.
where he's just like losing his mind.
He's
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
like I almost like kind of felt bad for him.
Yeah,
Like
he thought he made a
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah, it's
Oh! now you guys are weirded out. Like, oh my god,
No.
he's actually gonna be psychotic.
No, it's a really good Paul
Blake is
Dano.
looking at me scared. Like I'm actually gonna be a serial killer one day. I'm not. If I'm sorry, guys.
You know, if I had to put money on like a person I knew that was going to be a serial killer,
No.
Matt Reeves, the podcast.
Yeah.
No, I think he did a great job. And yeah, like a lot of his like he was toned down at certain moments. I think that like worked
Again,
really
define
well.
tone down. Like
You know that is
But he-
important. Define what you mean by tone down. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But like also he like he'll ham it up a bit, and I think it's totally fine to play this like unstable character. And the Riddler in particular has always been a character that is a little more over the top.
I don't even think he hammed it up that much, really.
No, he didn't. He didn't have it all.
No,
What was I going to say? One thing I really like about the character, and this is actually more about how they wrote him, less than Paul Dano, though, is I like that, like, throughout most of the movie, he's kind of like just this terrifying idea. And then when we finally meet him, he's like this pathetic loser.
Yeah.
I just thought
Yes,
that was a
that's
great way
great.
to execute him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
he's just a smart guy.
Yeah.
He's just a really smart.
He's just like a
dude.
Reddit mod that has too much time on his hands.
Well, he was also a forensic accountant, so he's like, has details about what's it called, the case, the Maroni case, and the Broke Bus. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I did like, I did. Okay, I'm gonna stop with the Riddler.
And
So-
honestly, there should have been more Ave Maria.
yes,
More dramatic riffing on that.
I
his
think
theme song is also fantastic too.
yeah,
Yeah.
like in the grand tradition, like people are gonna be quoting the Riddler, I think, for a long time, and we're gonna see
Yeah, rifles are good.
we're gonna
That's
see
his fans. Those are his
cringe
fans. Quotes.
TikToks of people trying to act it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
gonna be great. He's a villain that's gonna last, I think, and I think he was a great choice for
And
year
I'm assuming
2.
we'll see him in the sequel.
I think one of the best parts about the Riddler, just as a concept character against the Batman, is the fact that he does keep his wits. He does sharpen Batman's mind. He kind of pushes him mentally, and I feel like that's what they did really well. Is they really established like, no, you have to be a detective for us, Batman. This is you're gonna really. You can't just go out and beat the shit out of people.
Because he doesn't know who to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You got to use your mind for this one, and fantastic. Yeah,
I think that's a fun lead into Andy Serkis's version of Alfred.
yeah.
Yeah, right. And he's
A
gonna
guy
train
who
more.
helps do his surrogate son's homework.
Yeah, he was he used to what's it called? He used to be part of the circus. He used to be part of the what was he say the British's central
It's
intelligence.
important to talk about the circus if you want to do more court of owls.
What's it called? Oh, okay. So and what do you guys think of the central? I guess we kind of already touched on the central mystery. I did like how pervasive it was. It infected all different parts of Gotham and like
Yeah,
Yeah.
as a first Matt Reeves Batman, just making
Small
it about
criticism
the city.
that has to do with the central conflict, although it's more just like a personal thing. I wish they'd done more.
What?
I do wish they actually did lean into Thomas Wayne asshole territory, like kind of like how the 20 whatever fucking Joker movie did.
I mean, you can save that for more flashbacks.
I know. I don't know. I just wanted them to, because like, the whole thing with, oh shit, was my dad actually an asshole?
I'm Thomas Wayne. I support this message.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I I thought it would have been more fun if maybe Thomas Wayne was actually like a super dick instead of just kind of making a tragic mistake.
I could see that, but the only problem with that is if they did that, well, I think his fundamental motivation for being a hero, which could have been interesting too, but that would have. I mean, there's a 4-hour
also,
cut.
the only two opinions you have of the guy is Falcone, who has every motivation to talk meanly about the guy, and Alfred, a guy who has every motivation to be nice to him.
Yeah, and also I feel like if what Thomas Wayne did commission the murder, I don't think Alfred would have still been employed for Thomas Wayne. Right.
You think he would have like quit on him?
He would have quit.
He would have quit on him.
That's very
stuff
true.
like that.
It's possible.
Yeah, because he seems like such a moral, upstanding character.
I don't know. I just like I mean, I know it's not that different because the Joker movie just did that, but I don't know. I like mixing things up a little bit.
Right.
I think
And
cool.
it's nothing that ruins the movie for me. It's more just like a small, weird one.
I'd be curious to see that in the sequel.
Yeah.
Like maybe we do learn, like he accidentally, or he could have done more or something like that.
Possibly, yeah.
What's it called? Okay, and then this. Okay, so let's just get into Michael Giacchino's score. And we've been all saving that for the.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's good.
Like you want to sing the theme song? You want things that can't fight the Halloween night? You want to do it? Sing it.
Wait, you actually know the names of the compositions?
I was listening to I've been sleeping to his soundtrack lately.
They're good.
Yeah,
it's good. Pulsy basses and violins.
I was gonna say I love the opening theme when he's going over Gotham and you hear Bruce's narration, which we didn't mention yet really, but I love that fact that it's like that noir kind of detectiveness.
I wish they kept it up the whole movie.
Same. I kind of wish he'd done it a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
But like that opening, like the strings of like, like kind of like this creepiness to it.
It evokes the animated series theme song.
Yeah, and then like little moments too, like when he has like the smoke bombs when he's fighting like the Riddler goons, and he just jumps out and like the violins screech as you like it comes out like he's this like horror villain almost as he's attacking these guys and like, oh shit, and he just beats the crap out of them, and just the take of Ave Maria on the Riddler, the different like the strings for Catwoman, and then like that.
Oh, and then I think her actual theme is more jazzy, right? And then strings for their romance.
Yes, that's true. Yes,
and the bass for Batman. Oh, I love Geokina.
Boom, 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 boom.
I did that when I was walking into work.
He's coming.
And then my workers were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm sorry." I just watched.
He's the George Washington of Gotham. He's coming. He's coming.
I really like the Nolan score, but I like this one more.
Same.
Yeah, I think Geokina. Geokina's a weird composer.
I wonder if Nolan watched this movie and went, "God damn it, you can hear the dialogue."
He's like, he was really digging those scenes when like the Riddler tapes were coming out and it was kind of muffled. He was like, "Fuck yeah, that's great."
I'm wondering with Oppenheimer, is he gonna like because that it's like it's a dialogue thing. It's a biopic about the guy who made the bombs.
It's gonna be like they're gonna be
the
talking.
atomic bombs are gonna be going off the entire movie.
Explaining how he made the bombs. Like,
yeah, they're gonna be speaking to each other through glass, and it's gonna be like, I'm the bringer of death. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
All right, well, okay, it's like Giacchino. Like he's a weird composer because like he's like when he's great and he's just like with the right filmmaker, it just knocks it out of the park. Like his soundtrack for Up, right, Ratatouille with Brad Bird, he does it really well. Incredibles.
Yeah, let's look at this list here.
Yeah,
he does a lot of stuff with Disney, Pixar.
Yeah,
The Incredibles is probably. Just reading off like the list, like maybe my favorite one because
Speed Racer.
Let's
do a quick aside for Speed Racer.
Speed
Racer,
really good. It
really
is.
Good
I've not seen Speed Racer recently enough that I could honestly give it an opinion.
You can watch it on HBO Max.
You can. Oh yes. I mean, also know this is an ad for HBO Max. This entire episode.
John Carter.
I think the Planet of the Apes films have like a great use of like it like is an homage to like the original Planet of the Apes themes.
The xylophones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, John Carter, a movie that everybody remembers.
Yeah,
John Carter is like super underrated, by the way. I really did like that film. Yeah.
Well, like 5 people went and saw it in theaters when it came out.
I was one of those 5.
I was 5. Yeah, high five, air 5. Yeah. What's it called?
I watched it later. I think I rented it.
Quick thing about just my only thought on it is just like more people would have watched it if it was John Carter from Mars.
Yeah,
probably.
Saving that extra bit as just like a little end title card thing was dumb. Bad job, guys.
Yeah.
John Carter from Mars. He can jump high because it's Mars.
Yeah. But it's like
Doctor Strange. I think I love. Sorry, I was gonna say I really love like the use of the what's it called, the harpsichord.
Yeah,
throughout.
as the same
Great.
song. See, that's a weird thing. It's like with anything with like the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Like, other than the Doctor Strange song and maybe the bum 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 like the Homecoming, I'm kind of like
He's getting notes to commit to a central theme.
yeah. It's like I don't know about you, Jeremy, but like for me, I thought it was really, all his Marvel scores have been really lackluster.
Pretty
when he
flat.
goes, when he goes outside of that and works with like more auteur filmmakers. Okay, J.J. Abrams is not auteur, but like, but it's been a lot more memorable, and it seems like there's a lot more experimentation.
There's composed for piano and composed for an orchestra.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
What was your favorite Geokina score? I know for yours it's Incredibles, right?
Incredibles for
Okay,
sure.
not Incredibles.
fucking love
because it's
Incredibles.
cheating. So we're all gonna say Incredibles. Yeah. Oh, and
Fine, not Incredibles and
not enough.
Cloverfield.
I already said my piece about Speed Racer. Like he was really in tune with what the Wachowskis were going for in that one.
I agree, especially like the last song at the end where when Speed Racer was like
Yeah.
and stuff.
Then I don't know, probably Dawn of Planet of the Apes.
I think I did really like his Star Trek theme.
This is a good one.
It's a good interpretation of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, Geokina, you're great. I would love you to score my funeral. You know, or my wedding.
He'll probably
can
die
arrange
before you.
that.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
I would say.
hopefully. Yeah, actually, no, I want Geokina to live for 300 years to make more and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Give
look
him
at
the
John
Hans
Williams.
Zimmer blessing.
Yeah, John Williams is like 90 plus, and he's still kicking out badass soundtracks.
Well, just riffs of his old stuff.
And yeah, speaking back to like the voiceover, I did like the film. Essentially, it's like it is just like a 40s 50s noir Bogart film where it's like there's a lot
Did you
of
say Noir Bogart?
yeah, no, noir Bogart. It's weird. It's like I'm saying it does sound weird.
I know, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
The Bogart,
oh,
like the
Bogart.
Bogart movies are good. Maltese Falcon,
One of my-
In the
The
Lonely
Big
Place,
Sleep.
in the
Yeah.
Lonely Place.
Going into
is a
what you're
good
saying
one.
though, like one of my defining thoughts is that like the Nolan Batman movies really leaned into like the ninja stuff, like the ninja side of Batman, and this movie really leaned into like the detective
Detective stuff,
side,
yeah.
which I like because no other fucking movie has done it, and everybody was saying this movie was going to do it, and I was like, yeah, okay, we'll see, I guess, but it really did,
Yeah,
which
it
I
did.
think is cool.
And I also like that because what's it called, and I saw this with War, because like War for the Planet of the Apes is pretty much the Great Escape, and like a little bit of Ten Commandments mixed into with the skin of what's it called, Caesar, and it's really cool. And this one, it really just feels like like films like Seven, Zodiac, Chinatown, or all the President's Men, even the French Connection with the car chase scene, but with the skin of Batman. Like he wants to make all his favorite noir films.
With big budget movies.
Yeah, with really big budget, and that's the only way you can make it actually.
Yeah, and it's
nowadays.
different than like what's it called? Sorry, the guy who did the Joker. I can't think of his name.
Oh, you mean
Scott-
fucking Todd Phillips?
Yeah, like
the
Todd
piece
Phillips.
of shit fucking plagiarist motherfucker.
I was gonna say he basically just stole.
Wow,
he just
Phillip.
stole King of Comedy and Taxi Driver and was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do that, but literally just with the Joker
Even
skin.
putting it in the same fucking setting and time period. Whoa.
Yeah.
Having Robert De Niro in the film too. Whoa.
This is how you use like multiple inspirations and uses and like basically like, oh, I'm gonna make my version of it, but have it be more inspired by and not just like a ripoff of.
It's okay to pull things like directly, but also like, but not just from one fucking source.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like, it's spread it out, bitch. Spread it out.
Man, I honestly
bitch.
didn't know you had such strong opinions on Todd
No,
Phillips.
I for me, I hate the one thing to hate the most is fucking creative bankruptcy, and that is Todd Phillips. Fuck you, man. Fuck you, and I don't want you to don't ever fucking touch anything Joker related. You
Is he
creatively
doing
bankrupt
Joker
little
too?
fuck. Yes.
I don't. I don't know if anyone has this strong opinions on Todd Phillips.
I'm not a fan of the movie.
Yeah, but I don't think it's as strong as I'm
No,
saying.
because it's everyone sucking the dick off
I
that
hate
film.
his- what is this?
When
I
they-
hate his fucking statement that Hollywood's too woke to make comedies anymore. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't.
He annoys me as like a person, but I mean, I don't know him, so it's not like I hate him or anything.
His
Okay.
never
one
met
film
him.
that he likes is the one where he rips off from a better filmmaker. So fuck him.
Okay, moving on. Here we
All
go.
right.
I gotta say, fuck you, Todd Phillips. Okay, now let's move
This
on.
isn't going to be a Todd Phillips discussion.
He's gonna be the new John Krasinski of the show.
Let's not.
If John Krasinski would have
Let's
been
not.
Batman, Alfred, and the Riddler,
He would have been. Oh, Okay, never mind. We'll stop.
What
Okay.
do you
All
think?
right,
about
let's
Todd
get into the
We're
final
already
thing.
an hour and a half into
Let
this.
us know.
Right.
What do you think about Todd Phillips? The Hangover trilogy, currently streaming on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to
Also,
bed in like 5 minutes.
I do.
what's it called? I don't go to bed. I'm in
my only like last on Todd Phillips, like I just in my head I call him Todd paging Dr. F word Phil. Hey, remember when he used to do comedies and they were bad comedies?
Yeah, they were. I never liked any of his comedies. Okay? So let's get into the final thing first. Joker, which we didn't know was Joker at first. You know, the thing is, I actually did like that. I did like that scene quite a bit because it's like proto Joker.
Barry Keoghan.
And yeah, Barry Keoghan.
I
I'm
like
really
him.
excited for that.
I do like
Yeah.
him, but I don't know. Here's my thing. 'Cause
He won't be the villain for the second one.
Okay, but I don't know.
He shouldn't be the main villain for at minimum 7 Batmans.
Because I really fucking like Barry. Is that how you say his name? I've
Barry
been saying his
Keoghan.
name Coegan for like years.
I
No, I think it's Kogan. I've heard
quick,
Kogan.
So
I
quick
heard Kogan.
aside here. So
All right,
this is
whatever.
tomato.
Barry-
I say Geokina.
Whatever.
You say Geokina.
Killing of a sacred deer kid. I'm always just gonna
No,
call
I
him
didn't say
that.
Killing Sacred Deer. You don't think? I think he'll pull it off.
No, I think he could definitely be.
Yeah,
He's a
no, no,
fantastic
no.
choice.
I
Yes.
think he's a great choice to play the Joker. I'm just so sick of the fucking Joker. Like,
We weren't sick of it until Jared Leto did it.
it's not even that. It's just like, Jared Leto, Heath Ledger, who played him last?
Joaquin
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
I'm just like, how many fucking Jokers do I have to see in my goddamn lifetime?
There's
Let me
less
die
Joker.
in peace.
There's
7
less Jokers than
Shut
Batman.
the fuck up and let me die without a Joker, Walt.
Yeah, there's less Jokers than Batman.
I'm just so fucking sick. Like, god damn it. Batman has such a fucking wide fucking arsenal of villains. Use it.
That's a separate topic.
Well, I know, but the thing
yes.
is, yeah, I agree with that. But I do agree. But then again, it would feel very weird because the Joker is synonymous with Batman for not to have a
Why,
like the
though?
existence. You know what I mean?
I will say I
Is he-
love.
Well, the reason why is because
And
Mark
I love
Hamill did
Barry
such a good
Keoghan.
job.
I fucking
Yeah.
love Barry Keoghan. Do you remember how much I stand for him on our Eternals episode?
Yeah.
The thing is, okay, here's my thoughts on Barry Keoghan's Joker and Matt Reeves'
Everything
Batman.
Kogan.
Yeah.
Is the fact
Keoghan,
that like
whatever.
I love that he's already
K-E-O.
in Arkham.
Yeah.
He's in Arkham. They had like a small Joker storyline. It happened already in year 1. They've established they have some kind of relationship together.
Yeah.
It's not fully established because he's not really fully Batman yet and he's not really fully Joker yet. It's fine. Let's do another movie or 2 without him and then bring him in later because like I'm totally cool with it. It's like I love the Joker being a presence in Gotham and in Batman's life. That's cool, but I'd rather see give me Clayface, give me Mr. Freeze,
Okay,
give me Solomon Grundy.
No
Give me-
Clayface. No Clayface. I'm sorry. Not yet.
I fucking love Clay.
I love Clayface. I've seen Harley Quinn. You should watch it, by the way.
Okay.
Matt
That's
Reeves the
it.
Batman is not prepared for
Clayface.
supernatural elements.
Yeah, maybe
Yes.
like 5.
I don't know if
yeah,
they're gonna
film
do
5.
that.
That's
Film
good.
5. Fuck no.
Yeah.
You gotta give me
No,
at
you
least
can do
3.
Freeze too, but Clayface, that's like you need to. You need a
Freeze you
bit.
can do because he's just a
Gimme,
freaky
gimme.
guy with a freeze gun.
Let's go. But okay, regarding
Firefly.
Firefly.
regarding
That's just, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but Firefly is a good choice.
yeah, no, Firefly's the villain for Batgirl,
For Batgirl?
the film upcoming. Yeah, and
Boo.
Brendan Fraser's playing him.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I'm actually excited. Michael Keaton.
Wait, you say Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, Brendan Fraser's playing him.
Oh.
Weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, I think
He's already,
I'm
he's already
happy to
preoccupied with other DC properties.
Yeah, I'm happy to see him working, and I'm glad to see him like getting
Yeah.
a big role. But also,
I just don't think Brendan Fraser and
That-
Firefly.
yeah, that's a weird choice.
I mean, like,
He's also gonna play Tombstone in the next Spider-Man.
That's cool. And Michael Keaton's coming back for that one too.
Well,
But
that's
that's the
my
whole
favorite.
thing. That's the whole thing.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No,
yeah, whatever,
let's
whatever.
get
Let's
back-
wrap it up.
Let's get back to Jack. We're not wrapping it up. I'm just kidding. You're gonna have to suffer, man. It's Batman. When's the next time we're gonna talk about Batman? The
next
Penguin.
year.
Yeah. I know. What's it called? Okay, what's it called? With the Joker, I was okay with it because it's proto Joker.
Yeah.
And two, and also I'm excited for it because after hearing, maybe I'm a little biased, I saw Matt Reeves go in depth about like his version of the Joker. He already made like a 30-page backstory for the Joker, and then in his take in this one, it's there's a congenital disease of people who actually can't stop smiling.
Rude.
And I didn't even know that. It's really fucking freaky. And he's
Nice.
saying that like, and it's more like he's as he grew up with his congenital disease and how the society has treated him because of that has like mentally fucked him up. That he wasn't that fucked up his birth, but is a nurture. He was like nature versus nurture. He was not his nature as Joker, but he nurtured into it.
One thing I also really do love, I love that he's like becoming friends with the Riddler.
Yes,
That's great because there's a
the
storyline.
more jokes and riddles. That's a fucking fantastic.
That's a
comic.
great thing. And just like Joker has always respected Riddler, vice versa. They actually like one of the
They're both
Batman.
into green.
Yeah, they're two of like Batman's villains who actually like would work really well in tangent. You know, unlike Batman Forever, where they're just like, yeah, let's just stick them with Two-Face. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Makes no sense.
What do they have in common? Why would they be together? Doesn't
Both
make
the
any
actors
sense.
and the characters.
Yeah, I mean, they did the same thing with like Freeze and Ivy and like Bane. They're just like, yeah, fuck it, just put them together, and it's like, this doesn't make sense. But I love the idea of Joker and Riddler working together and eventually like turning on each other or something. Like, I don't know,
That'd be
something.
Yeah, they said that he included that scene because I mean he cut out the previous Joker scene where in order to get a psychological profile of Riddler, he went to go see Joker as like a Hannibal Lecter moment, but he
Cool.
cut that out because he said that would have added too much time and
Yeah,
whatever.
there would have been too much hooting and hollering.
Yeah.
and
Give me
see-
that cut scene. Give it.
Yeah, and he also said that the point of that scene is that he adding that scene in adds context to when Selena was talking about how the city is never going to get fixed. There's always something brewing. And the fact that even though Batman had a major victory over Riddler, even though he put him in Arkham, immediately he created a new conflict by putting the Riddler and Joker in the same room.
Which I do like that Riddler did kind of win though. Like he still blew up the
Yeah,
van.
he
he
still won.
succeeded.
But he didn't win
Resounding.
all the way, like because
Yeah.
Bella Real's still alive, and he inspired hope in Gotham.
Great.
Yeah, which is great. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. The final arc. I love the fact that he went from vengeance to now a beacon of hope, like a literal Dark Knight, as like that final
Great.
shot of him with
Don't
what's it
say
called?
literal Dark Knight. He never asked for that.
Yeah, literal Dark.
It's never really implied.
Yeah. Oh, okay, but
where he's driving off.
No, not his driving shot. I mean, when
When he
town
like jumps
flooded,
down into the thing.
yeah, and instead of like beating them, and he's it's a flare, right?
Yeah.
With the flare, and he's like literally as a beacon of red light and guiding all these people away to safety. And that when that one person grabbed onto his arm as they were being lifted out.
Yeah, which I love. Juxtapose that to the opening scene when he saves that one guy from getting beat up by
He's
those thugs.
terrified.
And he's horrified by Batman. He's like, don't hurt me. And he's like, oh, okay.
I understand your previous context to me was the last 30 seconds. I apologize.
Just beat that dude senseless. But yeah, no, that was
That
great.
dude's not gonna be able to eat again.
Well, good.
Yeah, that's
Know
good.
it.
That's good. And it's great. It's great to see like he's him seeing the error. Wait, this is actual what's it called, a character arc for
He had an arc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is surprising because in the 89, not really an arc.
No.
But and also I did in a weird way, a lot of people saying it's super dark, but this is the most hopeful Batman I've seen like in a while.
It's got a hopeful ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's not as dark and depressing, and I know people
I think
say dark,
it just takes place on a really dark, depressing world.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
but the actual themes and
Yeah.
like, what happened are very hopeful, and I did appreciate that.
Yeah, there are no paragons in this city.
No.
Yeah.
That's good. And what do you guys say? Now let's get to future speculations. So like
Oh,
there was
there
like
already.
yeah, they already
My own thoughts on that last whole sequence where like he fights the proxies.
yeah.
It gets, I think like the actual fighting gets a little bit muddled because it's like one of the few parts of the film where it's bright.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like because he's fighting like 7 people, it does get like the composition of it seems a little muddled. Like he's just not just fighting henchmen.
Oh yeah.
At a certain point, a lot of people are just huddling around
And
and
just
things
waiting
like
in the
that.
background.
Until the actual power goes out, then like it's just a lot of strong visuals. But,
right
like,
when,
yeah.
when the
I
smoke
think the
comes
actual
up.
part where he's just fighting a bunch of people under bright lights that was a little weird.
But,
Yeah.
but you're talking about the scene where like he puts a bomb on the gas, right? And then he attacks them one by one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Future speculation. There's a lot of groundwork that I think was laid again with like Joker and him working together with Penguin.
The
Obviously,
HBO
seeming
Max
like
series.
yeah, he's going to be coming up. With even the fact that when he injects himself, what is very clearly like
You got that
Venom.
Bane
The
juice.
Venom.
You want
Yeah.
that?
it's like that Bane Venom juice. He just
There's a quick shot of wheatgrass to the thigh.
yeah, and I love that they show it's like a thumb.
It's unnatural green.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
unnatural green, and it's the size of like I don't know, like what are the things you put in your like? It's a thumbtack.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
not thumbtack, like a little tiny spoonful. It's like a teaspoon worth,
Yeah.
and it like makes him go nuts. And it's like whenever they get to Bane or something, that guy is like freebasing like
Bane
entire.
work in this universe.
I think it
think
would.
he
Yeah,
totally
I
could.
think he could.
And the thing is, actual Bane. I'm not talking about like
Not
you know
Nolan Bane.
Nolan Bane or the other Bane. Just like this dude who is like a pretty much
A
like
drug addict.
gun for
they
hire.
mentioned drop heads too. Like there's a bunch of drug addicts. in
Yeah,
the thing.
he is like essentially a drug addict. He is addicted to venom.
Science drug addict.
And he just cranks that shit, and eventually it shows like the effects of what it does to him physically and everything. He's like gets all fucked up.
Quick
They could definitely
aside,
do
the
that.
name for the drug addicts in this world is drop heads.
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
drop
drop
heads,
heads, yeah.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
something like that, where the fact that
PCP
he's
does not exist in this world.
he could. I think it could totally work. Would they do Bane right away? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he could just be some guy that he fights later.
Once
Who
they
knows?
feel
Once he's
like
more established, I think.
when we're
Brain-
comfortable with
Yeah.
doing crazy prosthetics on people, then we can have Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. For our next guy, I know we've talked about
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
And that would make the most sense. The city's flooded. Freezing water. I'm like logistically that probably makes the most sense.
That's
Like,
such a weird.
Yeah, this
way to
movie
go.
would literally take a month after
yeah.
this movie.
He just
the winter comes.
that way he can skate everywhere. He's just
It's gonna be like no, it's gonna be like Frozone.
No,
from
I bet you.
Incredibles.
No, I bet you he's gonna do like if they include the wife thing. He's like, there's a people like what's it called? There's this place like he's freezing up certain parts of the city where you can't access it because of the ice and whatever.
okay.
Yeah, and he's just like using that to get money or just extorting it, whatever.
Yeah,
Like they're trying to recover and stuff like that, and he's like a roadblock.
Matt
could
Reeves
see
loves Heart of Ice, right?
Yeah,
Great.
and he loves Sub Zero. He loves the film Sub Zero.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. The film
yeah,
Zero.
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
the
Oh.
character? He
No,
loves-
the
he's a
Batman
Mortal
Sub-Zero.
Kombat
Batman
fan?
Sub-Zero. Yeah, Batman Sub-Zero.
Bihon's about to come out, like ripping people's spines
It's
out.
a Bihon,
I mean,
bitch.
there's
Sorry.
plenty of just people in the rogues gallery that are just dudes with a weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like Scarecrow. I would love
I
to
would love
see
Scarecrow.
Matt
yeah.
Reeves' version of Scarecrow in
Oh, yeah,
this
that'd be
Gotham.
great.
Especially because
Hell
like
yeah.
Nolan just like introduces him and then does fucking nothing with him.
Yeah.
Well, he does one nice thing is that they don't kill Scarecrow in the Nolan trilogy, so he just gets to be a weird little dude that just
In
scampers
every-
around.
Look
and
what your
around.
drugs did to my customer. Well, why the fuck would you buy drugs from me?
I know.
You buy your drugs from fucking Scarecrow?
Yeah.
This dude wears a terrifying mask over his face.
I think Scarecrow
So,
would be cool.
yeah.
I would
was-
love to see a good Scarecrow. I like Scarecrow a lot in Batman Begins. It's just we never really get.
And
I
that's-
would love to
all
see
the
like
way there.
maybe in
So
like
that's
the
a natural nice thing in this movie is that like the villains aren't like dead at the end. They're
No,
just,
yeah,
Yeah.
they're all there.
they're just jailed or are still rampant.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Maybe in the third
there
film.
can definitely be a future where Arkham is just too full of these guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Someone mentioned Court of Owls, but I'm like, no, that's too soon.
Yeah, it's too soon,
Too soon.
especially because this
You need,
film
you need a
Similar
Batman who's
to-
more experienced and
Yeah.
more, yeah.
way too similar ideas where it's like, oh, Gotham is not what you see, and it's actually getting its strings pulled
Well,
by
a lot
other
of-
people.
a lot of-
It's like, okay.
A lot of people going into this thought that
That
was
can
the
be
direction they were
a
gonna go
Gordon
in.
side thing.
What would you say?
That
A
can be
lot of
Gordon's
people
side.
like thought that was the direction this movie was going to go in because I remember like
Right,
when
right.
the trailers dropped, everyone thought instantly Court of Owls.
I would say it's too soon because
It's very similar.
Gotham is already doing Court of Owls
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. That's a,
Honestly, I think the next film, I would love to see them lay
I would
the
say Mr.
groundwork
Freeze.
for like introduce Harvey Dent. We need a new DA.
yeah.
Get he doesn't
Oh,
have to
imagine
become
Phase-
Two
Phase-
Face.
Imagine a
Phase and
city
third one,
without a
fourth one.
DA.
Yeah, just bring in Harvey Dent. Be like, wow, this guy's really cool. Have him like become buddies, like
With-
part of that trio, because it's like Gordon, Harvey, and Batman.
And that's
Yeah.
one of the
You know
iconic
how
trios.
Gordon was just transferred out of Gotham, like in year one.
Yeah.
And then main villain should be
Whole
Killer
society
Croc.
is-
I'm just kidding. No.
No.
Hugo Strange would be cool too.
Oh, Hugo Strange would be
Hugo Strange
awesome.
would go. You know what? They might because okay. So let's get into like the expanded universe, the Mattverse or whatever. Right?
Yeah,
Mattverse.
By the way, just today, it's so sad. I found out that one of his series got canceled, and then he gave his full pitch on what one of the series is. So some of the one that didn't get canceled. So there's Penguin, which we already talked about in depth. The second one is an Arkham Asylum miniseries,
Sweet.
and it might be either like one entire story or an anthology. Apparently, they're working it out, and apparently, I heard rumors that they're actively casting a Hugo Strange,
Ooh.
Sweet.
which I'm like so fucking excited.
No, I'm
Liam
excited because like
Neeson.
the fact they're gonna do Arkham Asylum, and he's already said it's gonna be like very like almost like a horror film, which is great.
Yeah.
I just from what they showed of Arkham, because like when was the last time we saw Arkham? Like Dark Knight trilogy, did they ever do Arkham? No, they did at one point. Sorry,
Scarecrow goes
yeah,
there.
Yeah, Scarecrow's
Scarecrow, Batman
Like,
Begins.
you
But
which
it's
is
just
like
fine.
it's like one
You
shot.
see a
Yeah.
building of it,
It's
and
just
then
a
it
regular
gets,
prison.
and
Yeah.
it gets destroyed. That's how a lot of people are just scampering around now.
Show me Arkham. Have it be this like creepy gothic place for whatever reason,
I mean,
and then
you
like
did see
an
newspaper
asylum.
clippings.
Yeah, it's an
so-
asylum that was built in the in the early 19th century, and then give it to me. And then like I want to see Hugo Strange working there. You can see Scarecrow working there when he was like, you know, when he's still just a legit doctor, right?
Yeah.
He can be there. And then someone like even Harlan Quinzel working there as well,
it'll be
doing
interesting.
profiles on the Joker.
Don't.
Fine.
No, actually, no,
Or
maybe
don't.
not.
No, I'm just
Not
saying
yet, not
before she turns into like, you know, the pudding, whatever. She's just a doctor that's working there. That's fine. I want to see it. Give it to me.
So is that the one HBO series you'll see?
Hell yeah.
Penguin too or no?
I'll probably check out Penguin just because I love
Yeah.
Colin Farrell's portrayal.
If it
so
starts
much.
becoming a thing where we have to watch them so I know what happens in the movies.
It's probably just
maybe
added character
not.
context, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these villains would probably work best in just like a brief short story.
Yeah.
Don't make a movie out of them.
Actually, I don't know, because like I mean, as long as it's like, you know, well made, like, you know, the execution is probably the key. But but the third series apparently, and this one I know for most people know, but I was actually the most excited for this one because it was it was gonna be Matt Reeves along with Terrence Winters, who wrote a lot of Sopranos episode and worked and created Boardwalk Empire.
Nice.
That they were gonna make a Gotham PD corruption story, like a mini series. And the main character was I was wrong. It was not Gordon. It was going to be about an actual corrupt cop under Falcone's payroll. But he comes across
that utter Harvey.
yeah. But it comes across Gordon and it kind of changes perspective. But he's a very despicable character, like even more despicable than Tony Soprano.
Nice.
But apparently, as they're writing it, like I don't know, apparently HBO got cold feet and they were like, he's a little too despicable, so they canned it. Yeah.
Damn, that's too bad. It's funny. I was just talking with Rosie about like how I would like to see a show, like kind of like half jokingly, but like also kind of serious, like what it's like to be a cop in Gotham. And I know that like Gotham already came out and that's like all
That
the thing,
doesn't
but
count.
it's like, no, I'm talking about this Gotham.
Yeah.
Like to be a cop or to be a security guard in this world where it's like horror, like, you know, Scarecrow's going to shoot a fear toxin in your face and you're fucked or something, or you're going to get frozen to death or Bane's going to rip you in half. But like just the idea of what it's like to be a cop and have to deal with all of this and having, you know, people like Falcone or Maroni or whatever trying to like win you over and to like all the shit that you deal with in the city, which is pretty horrifying. And yeah, that would have been
It looks like
very
Gotham
interesting.
PD only has 20 people. in it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of cops
No, there
in
was
that room.
when he escaped.
Yeah, they're like chasing after him and
They're all
everything.
shooting him too. Fuck.
Those are all just enthusiasts.
Yeah. What's it called? So I'm what's it called? It will be interesting. What's it called? Do you guys like the idea of like kind of like something like this, one great film, and they have like series to kind of flesh out different?
No,
aspects?
actually.
I'm not big on that.
It
That
gives
shit
me
usually annoys me.
it gives me serious pause. I'll say I'm just like, oh man, I don't want them to milk it, and I don't like assigned reading for like watching the next film. You know,
Because
like,
you guys are
oh,
lazy.
yeah,
I'm just
nah,
kidding.
it's like
Just
I don't want to watch
Sure,
the next.
lazy. It's
Well,
lying
and
on,
it's like-
on my
I don't want.
side.
I don't want to
couch.
not
Also-
enjoy a movie less, or enjoy it less than I should because
Oh, you
like
mean
I
the
didn't.
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, because I
And-
didn't watch the fucking.
And in my
show.
fucking head too, I'm like, bro, okay, I watch way more content than the average movie viewer. And even I'm like, fuck. Like I can't even imagine like average Joe who wants to go see like I'm gonna use the MCU as an example, who wants to go watch Avengers 4 and he's like, what? I gotta watch like Loki and WandaVision and this and
The
that.
secret is you don't
This-
because they'll fucking explain it to you
Yeah,
there
but
anyways.
I don't know. I'm just like
It-
I'm not a big fan. Yeah, like Ron said, I'm not a big fan of assigned reading
It-
for movies.
a
I get
part of
that.
it though is I know I
You
literally
gotta
just
watch
said
the
that I don't.
animated Clone Wars to understand the Mandalorian.
Exactly.
I'll
don't
say that
need
like
that.
part of me does it. I do like it in a certain sense, because it does remind me of like actual comic books where it's like
Yeah.
characters branch off, they have their own adventures, they do stuff, and then they circle back around, and you know they kind of carry on to the next
yeah,
story.
it does
or whatever.
exploit that neuroses of reading all the material in preparation for the crossover event.
Yeah,
Like,
which
Exactly. That's in
No.
the spirit of the comics, and also too, it's just like there's stuff that you can't do in a film.
Yeah.
It's like there's not enough time for it that I would love to be explored in a television series, and also
Yeah, which
Let's
is
be honest,
like
most people just watch-
like more shoddy cinematography.
So
Yeah.
that's why I said it gives me pause. I'm like kind of like I don't know how much I really like the idea of that, but at the same time, it is very fascinating and it is kind of cool. And
When
a
you say
little bit
miniseries,
exciting,
it
so
better
it's-
be 4 1-hour episodes.
Yeah.
no, it's 8. It's at least 8. We know
Variable lengths. Episode 1 is an hour 15 for some reason.
Yeah, I
Episode
would-
2 is 37.
that. And it was gonna be funny. More people are gonna watch Penguin than the Batman film. That's
It's
what
'cause
happened to Suicide Squad.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's right there. It's readily available to stream
I don't know
on
about that
HBO
one.
Max.
I think because Suicide Squad, it just came out in such a weird time, and most people watch Peacemaker afterwards, which is weird, but cool that the fact
Yeah.
like a character like
it
Peacemaker
helps that it's readily available to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also it's John Cena, which everyone knows John
John
Cena.
Cena.
Yeah.
That piece is so fucking bad.
Okay, so to end this on the P10, let's get into our final thoughts and rating. It's in the museum for me. 9 out of 10.
Oh, I forgot completely about this rating system.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, let's run down the rating system real quick.
So our rating system.
I'm not gonna use it though, but let me do this again.
from what's it called
For those
bottom
listening at
to
home.
top. So bottom of the pile is we absolutely is terrible shit bucket. Above that is bargain bin.
Yeah.
It will probably see this film in the bargain bin, whether you buy it or not.
Yeah.
Above that is streaming with ads. Above that, streaming with premium subscription.
Streaming with premium.
Subscription,
Premium
yeah.
streaming.
Premium
It's
streaming.
streaming with premium. Okay, like, that's we're revising it right now. And like you would actually pay for a subscription to watch for this film or TV series. And then on top of that is on the shelf. Like you would buy like day one $25 version of this Blu-ray.
You want the Blu-ray, you want the Criterion version, whatever.
Exactly.
Give it to me and I'll own it.
And the highest one is in the museum. That this film you feel is exemplary, perfect of its kind. Like will impact film as years goes on, or had a huge impact on film history, and you just absolutely fucking love it.
All right, everybody's ratings.
Okay, so let's go. Okay, 9 out of 10 in the museum. I take a point off because it wasn't rated R, and I agree with that was like there's a couple of shots,
a couple moments like
that,
the
Riddler when he was bashing in Don Mitchell Jr.'s head with that tool, and his face was like not bloodied at all. I was like, yeah, okay, and then
You gotta make an R-rated Batman.
Yeah, you have to.
It's weird telling a kid, I'm going to go watch a Batman movie, but not for you.
This movie doesn't really feel like a little kid would like it.
There was a little kid right
if
next
you
to us
think
when
this
we were watching
movie's
it.
not for kids, you haven't watched it in theaters with Mexican families.
Yeah,
So.
no, I was I was watching it with when we watched it in IMAX.
In IMAX when we watched it together.
There was a kid next to us. By the way, the kid was like super dope. He's like, "Ooh, Batman!"
Yeah, he was really into it.
Also Batman.
Just with that opening sequence where Riddler is coming out of the shadows and beats a man to death with like that tool.
Well, thank you, Officer Martinez, for pointing out it's a carpet tool.
Yeah, I was like, that's great. I did feel a little pride that I was like, hey, that does look like that kind of carpeting tool. I was like, I think I know what that is. I was like,
you're smarter than Batman.
Also, it makes sense. I'm like, Batman was raised rich.
Yeah,
like,
so you wouldn't know.
A lot like Catwoman says, like, you've never changed carpeting before.
And also the fact that he beat the fuck out of Vengeance Riddler.
Yeah.
And then his face was like not bloody.
Bro, his face sounded like mush when Batman was done with it. It's just like, oh, his nose is a little crooked. It's like, no.
Like maybe blurred.
I agree. A lot of my flaws are based on the fact that it's not R-rated.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Whatever.
All right, so what's your rating? And
number
and yes, on the shelf. Okay, number.
We don't do numbers here.
You want to do number? I'm doing number.
I don't
okay.
like numbers.
Okay. What about you?
It's for me. It's like teetering in the museum.
Oh my god.
Like, but I'm gonna say
commit.
I'm gonna put it on the shelf.
In the shelf.
in the shelf. Yeah.
Is there a compromise?
Yeah. No. It's gonna be on the shelf for me. Like, it's really. I think it's fantastic. It's incredible. It may be the definitive version of Batman. And like Gotham and everything. I don't know. Again, it feels too soon to say, you know, like I have to like marinate on this for a while, but yeah, for now I'm putting it on the shelf.
It's mine. I've seen it 3 times, so I'm watching it. What about you?
Let's see, on the scale of George Clooney to Kevin Conroy, the real Batman, I give it a Robert Pattinson.
Nice.
It is a Batman movie that doesn't feel obligated in the least to show a suave or like a by committee version of Batman. It's very much like one dude is really committed to showing like a really like unconventional, by unconventional I mean like the actual way he's portrayed in comics version of Batman. It's a guy that does his job.
Uncompromising.
He's not always confiding to his butler about it's hard being Batman.
Yes, he's addicted to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you guys for another episode of Half a Clue Movie Review. Please like and subscribe if you like our content. Or follow us on Instagram at @halfaclue_podcast.
Who's your favorite Catwoman? Who's your favorite Batman? What's your favorite Batman film? Which is your favorite portrayal of Gordon? Which is your favorite portrayal of Gotham? Let us know.
We are all Jeffy Wright.
No.
When Batman goes some drive and Jeffy Wright goes, oh my God. I felt that.
All right. Thank you guys.
This or Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh, that's going to create a debate.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Bye.